Hey, what's going on? I got Frank Crinite on here. We are live, bro.
We're
We're live. We're
live.
live. Did you share this?
We're late and live. We're
We're
not late
late.
because of me. We're late because of Ken.
We're no, not. We're not really late, dude. Did you share
8 minutes,
this?
man. I just shared it, bud. You're good.
You
I got
did,
you. Got you, man.
dude. You're down in the basement tonight.
Hanging out in the man cave. Everybody's upstairs sleeping with my son.
Everybody's sleeping. Wow. 9 o'clock.
Everybody's sleeping.
At 9 o'clock. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Time do you get? Everybody goes to bed here around 7:30.
Really?
No, who does
Wow.
that? Nobody goes to bed here.
No, man. No. So, hey, Sandy Tedeschi is on. Velco. What's up, Velco?
Velco. Let me tell you something about Velco, right?
I
So
love that dude, man.
I really didn't know Velco's demeanor too much from just seeing him online. We've done a couple lives, like
Yeah.
we've talked for a few minutes, and I thought he was like more of just a laid back, very intellectual, good trainer, good guy, right? So me and Velco, we stayed together in a choo-choo train all weekend. He slept above me. We were like bunkies
What?
all week. Yeah, we slept together. He slept above me. I slept below him, and let me tell you something. This guy is one of the funniest people I've ever been around. The most entertaining, energetic. Like he could come stay with me for as weeks, like weeks. I'll move out of my bedroom. He can stay there, just so I have him here at my house. Like it
Oh,
was, it was. He was the most entertainment, the most fun that I've ever hung out with in a long time. Sorry to all my friends. I love you guys. This guy, if he was local, I'd be making a big push to move him in at top
dude,
three all time. The dude is hilarious. I love
that's
him,
funny, man.
absolutely love him, and
That
he
is
supported me
funny.
all week, man. He helped me out. He's the guy, real good guy, real good
Yeah.
people. I can't say enough good stuff about him and
Hey,
everybody else
dude,
that I was with
he's
this week.
he's he's been on my show too, and
Yeah,
and and then he hammers me. He's like, I want to be in the intro video. He
he's in
hammers
your
me.
intro video.
He's
I didn't
not
see him.
in the intro
Oh,
video yet, but
oh,
I only have so much time. I
I didn't
gotta.
even get in the intro video.
You're not, man. You're not.
No.
I had Larry Wingett on, man. Larry Wingett's like a legend. He's not even in the intro video yet.
Okay. Oh, I get it. No problem. Just keep showing me where I'm at in the rung of the ladder of things. It'll be fine. No big deal.
That's exact. Now
Oh,
you sound like Velco. Good God, you
yeah.
hung out with him too long, dude.
I learned
So
a lot from him. Learned a lot.
yeah, he's sharp. I love that dude. He's funnier than heck. So do you see? Do you have the comments pulled up? Got
Yeah,
got
I got.
Ermelo on here. We got Michelle McLean is in the house. Natalie Phillips, Robert Brooker. Man, we got a
Natalie, I
bunch of
love
people.
her. She is awesome.
Is
She
she?
helped me out so
She's in.
much at
She's
the conference, and these are just such good people, man.
dude.
So happy. I'm so happy I went. I'm so happy I got to meet, all these great people. It was unbelievable.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome, and you killed it. Like I got to watch it because of Natalie Phillips. I got to see her speech.
Thanks, man. Yeah, she was great.
You,
Absolutely great.
dude, you were great.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.
You really were. Like,
If I was great, you would put me in your intro. You'd be like, that guy is great. He's infamous. He's going to be a legend. Like you just talked about the other guy who I don't know who is. I'm sorry, but
Larry Wingett. You don't know who Larry
Larry
Wingett
Wingett.
is?
I'm Frankie Do It. I'm not a Larry Wingett guy.
Oh,
I don't
God.
know who Larry Wingett is. No disrespect to Larry. I'm not. No disrespect to
Larry's a friend of mine. He might pop on here actually.
Larry. What's up, buddy? Don't
He's
talk
a
bad about me.
he's a legend, man. He's a legend. So as a matter of fact, Larry used to have a show on the A&E network, a TV show. Had his own
Okay.
show. Been on Dr. Phil. Been on all kinds of stuff. But anyway, let's talk about Frank Crinite. Tammy Woodard says yes. Frank was awesome. Born to lead.
Thanks, Tammy. I appreciate you. You were awesome too. I'm glad I finally got to meet you.
Hey,
Very
so
nice.
so let's talk about you, dude. Let's look. I titled this. I don't even. What did I title it? I told you. Velco said, "Meet Frankie, do it." I love it, man. So let's talk about first off. Let's talk about some mindset stuff. Jason Alt's in the house, bro. So let's talk about mindset stuff. Like, I know you know, and everybody that knows you knows that you sell 100 cars a month ish
Mm-hmm.
in that area, right?
Yep.
Little, maybe a little north of that sometimes. But
Sometimes.
so and I heard, I don't know this to be true. I don't know what the stats are, but I heard that the average car salesperson sells around 9 per month. Is that right? Do you know?
If you believe stats, I guess that's what it is. I
I
don't know
don't.
about what everybody
I
else is doing, what everybody else is saying, and what other people's average
Yeah,
stats are. That's the mindset. If you worry about and think about all these words and terms, and not just the car business and in
yeah,
life or any business that you're doing, you know what I mean. You start judging yourself against weaker competition. You start being able to tell yourself that you're just you're if you would have sold 18 cars and you're double the average. You're doing great. You're crushing it, right? So to
yeah.
me, I never worry about what the average, what the, all the other dealerships are doing, what all the other salespeople are doing. It has nothing to do with me or any of my goals or anything that I'm trying to get accomplished. So, if you have to judge your goals off of what other people are doing, I
Right.
really think that's the wrong way to look at it. I mean, I understand there's a meter stick that you have to judge it on, and you're 10 times what everybody's doing, and you're still looking for more, and some people just can't get it. Their mind's blown. Well, to me, my mind would be blown if I just sat back at these levels and said I'm comfortable and
Yeah.
this is all I want to do. If I
Right.
could figure out a way to scroll it back to stay at 4 days a week or scroll it back to 3 days a week, this way I can dominate in other areas of life, which I'm going to start doing. That's the mindset. Not worried about average, not worried about what
Well,
other people are doing or saying.
I get that. I get that. And I hear you, but I'm going to be the devil's advocate and say, look,
Okay.
dude, 76% of all statistics are made up on the spot 83% of the time.
Great.
So,
That was just a bunch of jargon that I don't pay attention to any of it, right? So
no,
you, you
listen.
want to learn how to blow through different levels of your life.
Right,
Take those stats, put them in a nice little paper ball, get a decent sized trash can in the corner so you can hit it a
right,
couple
right,
times and just throw them away,
right,
and just
right,
figure out what you want to do and where you want to go, and come up with some type of a plan. It doesn't always have to be the plan. Like, I come up with plans all the time.
right.
I'm not so guided by the plan that I can't change my plan, right? Because
Yeah,
sometimes you don't know what it takes to get through a certain level. You're going to say, "Hey, I'm going to sell. I'm going to get up with Frank Stone. I'm going to get to 100 cars." Well, I could give you a plan, and that plan may work for you, but you might have to deviate from that plan at some point.
yep.
So you can't just not. It's not an exact recipe of put this much in, put flour in, put this much, baking soda in, bake it for this long, and boom, you got the perfect cake. It doesn't always work that way.
So why?
There's stuff that comes at you all the time. You know what I mean? You got to be able to bob and weave. Like, the why is, if it was as easy as just giving everybody a step by step recipe, right?
Yep.
All the time, I could just write a book. I could write a 20 step. Here's how it's done, and don't deviate from it one iota,
Right.
and you'll be able to get to the levels that I'm at. It's not that easy. There's other factors that do factor in to it. So you need to be able to adapt with any goal that you have, not just set it
Right.
and forget, like a Ron Popeil thing. Don't set it and forget it. You know what I mean? You got to
Okay.
set it and be
So
able to deviate from it.
so let me let me calm you down for a second.
Never let anybody dull your sparkle.
Dude,
Let dull your sparkle.
they make decaffeinated brands with just as much flavor. So I'm just kidding. So my point about the average thing, I don't know what the average is, and to be honest with you, I don't care either. But let's say that you have the average car salesperson is doing 9 or 10 or 12, whatever the average is, I don't know. And they look at you and they go, this dude's doing 100 freaking cars a month. How do I get there? How do I get to 50 cars a month? Where? And so the segue that I was looking for was into the mindset of Frank Crinite. Do you want to go ahead and, for everybody that doesn't know,
Yeah.
explain the black eye real quick?
Uh, No, I don't want to tell you.
He smarted off to his wife one too many times.
Watch my video at Hustle and Grind. You'll be able to tell me. That's the funniest thing ever.
That is
So
funny.
the mindset is stop listening to what everybody else is telling you is great, right? I don't want a bunch of attaboys and pats in the back. But one of the craziest things that I actually thought about the other day when people were asking me, so who are your mentors? When you were building your business, and like who did you read and who did you study? And the craziest thing is I really didn't. I didn't listen to. I wasn't a big book reader back then. I wasn't. I mean, I'm still not. I do all Audible, but I really didn't have a trainer that I listened to. I didn't have somebody to actually tell me, how to get to 30 cars, because I see like all these trainers, and I get it. Average is 9, so if they can get somebody to 3 times it, that's 30 cars, and that's great. That'll be awesome. It'll be life changing for a lot of people in the auto industry. Financially, family wise, everything. If they can get the 30 cars a month, and that's a good benchmark, I guess. But to me, I always thought that I was destined for greater things at that point, and I never actually listened to these sales trainers. And now that I think back, I almost feel that if I did, it almost would have put my ceiling at a different level. And I might have actually told myself that, yeah, 30 is the pinnacle, 40, 50 is the pinnacle. But because I didn't know before the internet and everything was big with all these Facebook groups and all the other car salesmen around, I didn't really know where I was at nationally 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago. I just knew that I was dominating my area, and growing my brand. And that's how people got to know me, as the guy that sold all these cars and helps out all these people. And so if I would have listened to some of the people that were putting these ceilings on the numbers that they were trying to get people to get to, I might have been happy. I might have never got to the levels that I'm at now.
But talk about the first deal, the first sale you made.
So my first car sale, you get matched up with somebody in the showroom, and you're basically just they're there to help you, and like you kind of just supposed to be quiet and not talk and let the other salesmen talk and everything. And I had done some sales before I actually got there. So 19 years ago, it was April. I'm sorry, it was probably March 23rd. I think I was there for 2 or 3 days, March 23rd or 24th. I had to look it back up, but had a customer come in for a Civic VP, which was the cheapest car that we had, very inexpensive VP. Ended up just talking to her, tell her I didn't know much about the car, but they were great. They were local people. It was her and her husband came in, and they were buying her car. Her car got in an accident or something, and so we got through that deal. And while the salesman was over getting the paperwork ready for that deal, I asked her husband what he was doing with his car. I said, that's probably going to be replacing that at some point, right? And he goes, yeah, sometime soon. I'm going to get something, inexpensive when it was a good deal and everything. I'm like, well, I think that your wife's getting a pretty good deal. Why don't you just get the same car that she's getting? And we started talking for a little while, and he's like, you know what? It's probably a good idea. They ended up buying 2 cars. So my very first car deal was a 2-car deal. And the salesman, he was there for like 20 years. He was an older guy. He came back over, and he's like, man, it's awesome, but it never happens. That's going to ruin you. You're going to think every deal is supposed to go this easy. Okay, well, God. You know what? It actually a lot of times it does go that easy. We put up these roadblocks.
Right.
I was saying this the other day. So a customer comes in to get a car. We want to sell a car, and then there's all this fluff in the middle that we have to put them through for whatever godforsaken reason. The more fluff and BS that you can take out of the middle just makes it so much easier just to go like this, congratulations, and walk away. I mean, people don't need the fluff. They don't need the dog and pony show. I can buy anything I want on Amazon right now and have it delivered tomorrow with a bow on it out front. That easy. I don't have to go pretty much anywhere. So to me, people ask all the time, is the car salesman going to go away? Like, are you going to automate things, or the dealerships, going to go away? And my short term answer to it is it definitely could. It could definitely go that way. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No. But if you don't make yourself as a salesperson, if you don't brand yourself and make yourself an integral part of the process,
right,
people don't need you. They're not going to need you. So to me, I've declared myself the expert in the industry. So people look to me for advice. I had a gentleman in last night. He came in. He's leasing his first car. He's picking it up on Monday. scared to death to lease a car, had no idea about leasing. All he heard from all his friends and family members that have leased at other, manufacturers have done it once, 10 years ago, or the uncle did it, 18 years ago and he got dinged for all this stuff. And I actually went through, I explained to him, I showed him the financial benefit of leasing rather than buying at an 84-month term to get the car and his payment, and explained to him through my knowledge and for me being the expert in my field, why it benefited him. And, the guy was blown away. He's like, man, I would never thought that anybody would be that transparent with me and, explain all the information. So just sitting down and listening to his situation, solving his problem, right? People will pay for you to solve problems. They won't pay for you to say, here's your blue car. That's not the way that it should work. So if that's all you're doing is here's what color would you like, then no, you don't. You're not needed as a salesperson. But if you can actually solve a customer, a client, a friend, build a relationship problem, then yeah, you're going to be an integral part of the process. From now to infinity.
And you're identifying problems that they may not even know exist.
Exactly. So and I don't just tell the good to everybody. I'm going to sit there and explain to them, here's what the downsides could be. Here's what the downsides are if you don't know your mileage. If this or this. So with anything, it's not just leasing, but with anything, you want to make sure you give everybody the whole story, because you never want anybody to leave, find something out, or say, hey, you didn't tell me this. You know what I mean? Or I sold a car to a lady, and we haven't had CD players in the cars in probably 3-4 years, and she bought a loaded Honda Pilot, and she called me back, man. She was pissed that I didn't tell her there wasn't a CD player in the car. And I said, you know what? I didn't. And I helped her get a CD player put in her car for like next to nothing. But it's true, right? I didn't tell her that. And I didn't know, because she buy a car for years and years and years. And at first I thought, oh, man, come on. You didn't know there's not a CD player in a car? Like, they don't make cassette players. Either was my first, inkling to say. But then I'm like, you know what? No, it's on me. She doesn't buy cars every day. This is what I do every single day. You spend $50,000 on a car. You have a load of CDs in your car from 2007 or 2008. I probably should have mentioned to her, hey, it doesn't have a CD player in it. There's a way you can download it into your computer and put it on a flash drive, plug it into your car, or put it on your phone if you want to take up the storage. But I didn't. So I helped solve her problem rather than just pretend like, hey, you should have known that yourself. No, it was actually my job to be able to know what her mindset is and explain that to her.
So and I did it. You saw my live stream earlier in my private Facebook group that you were the very first member of, I might add. And I talked about mindset a lot in that video. And, it's my opinion, but I don't think there's anything more important than...
There's nothing more important. It all starts with the mindset, right?
Right.
That's your foundation. If you don't have a foundation.
Like if I asked you, I'm like, how much do you make on each car? And you're like, I have no idea. You said that. I have no idea. I said, come on, dude. You're like, I literally couldn't tell you how much my last paycheck was.
Ask any one of my managers, any one of them at all. I've never asked how much I've made on a car.
Right.
In probably the last 15 years. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't make a difference. I do my job. I'm going to do it as hard and as best I can every single day. And money, again, I say it all the time, money's a byproduct of your success.
Yep.
So if you're successful, the money's going to be there. Now, I know where all my money's at. I know what my money's doing for me. It's working for me, cash flow and, building in some investments. But at the same point, I don't worry about, every little dot that I have to pick up. Wouldn't make me be able to do my job as effectively if I did worry about that.
But what about hey, dude, Carrie Wise is on here. Do you know Carrie Wise from TrueCar?
I met her. We've been Facebook friends for a little while now, and I finally met her, and I walked over to her, and she was like the biggest smile and the biggest hug for me. She's like, I wanted to meet you. I said, the same thing. I wanted to meet you too. And she was so embracing. I didn't have a lot of time to talk to her. I wish I would have, I got whisked around in a couple different directions during and after the concert, but what a great person. I was so happy to actually finally get to meet her.
I haven't met her yet. I can't wait to meet her. I freaking love her, man. She's awesome. So you have, but let's go back to, again, I want to hear I'm not allowed to call you by your real name, am I? Did we get clearance from your attorney?
For any live stream that I'm in, you're allowed to use Frank Crinite
Oh,
hashtag. Frank's fans.
okay.
Uh, if you're using my name for your own financial gain, I'm going to want my piece, or I'm going to sue you.
That's why
I
I
have a
say
lawyer.
crank Frenity. But
I
like
know. I see it.
so dude, like let's go back to because when you before you got into car sales, you
Right.
I forget what it was you were doing, but you weren't doing real well, were you?
I was doing great actually. I was working for a company called. They were a marketing firm for Green Mountain Energy,
Oh,
and
that's right. That's right.
so I did as a rep.
Yeah.
I did 100 and I think it was 122 presentations that I did,
Right.
and I only had. And these are mostly you start with your family, your friends, and then
Yeah.
you ask for referrals.
Yeah.
Actually, when you're in their house, because when the electric companies deregulate, you're trying to save them money. Keep their money the same or have them spend more money if they really have environmental concerns and all that back in
Yeah.
the day. And I only had two people the entire time I was doing it tell me no. It was because of the Y2K. I couldn't get over the Y2K. I got so good at it, going over those prospectus and explaining it to them, that I would make all my appointments around dinner time so I could see if I can get invited to people's to stay over for dinner. Because to me, if I can stay over for dinner, that means that we were building a good relationship and they were giving
Yeah.
me more referrals. Like they get on
Right.
the phone.
Right.
It was like people had cell phones, but they were still like real house phones. Like people would get on the house phone and be like, "Hey, are you?" I'm like, "Do you think any of your neighbors?" Rather than just answering referrals, I'm like, "Do you think any of your neighbors, like the next couple of houses, would mind if I stopped by right now instead of just doing one appointment?" So I crushed it. And what they did is they made me district manager of Delaware County. Like they gave me an office, and
Wow.
I was supposed to manage all these other sales reps,
Yeah.
and I was getting no support. And they just basically said, "You're doing so good at sales, so you could be a manager." Boom, right? And
Yeah.
I wasn't. I really wasn't because I couldn't understand why they just couldn't do it my way, right?
Yeah.
Why they couldn't get up to the expectations that I was putting out for myself every day.
Right.
I got tired of listening to people's excuses, why I can't, why it's not working. So if you're telling me why something's not working and I proved it 120 out of 122 times that it did work, I don't need you. You know what I mean? So
Right. Right.
I think I went from like 20 reps down to like three, and then I'm like, let's screw this. I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Let's see. And my dad's like, why don't you go sell cars? You like cars, and I'm like, all right, I got a Honda. Why don't I seen an ad for Honda, and I called, and the rest is history. Actually, I called the ad in the paper, and I still remember Bob Burns. So I'm like, he's like, all right, well, come in today for an interview. It was Friday afternoon. I'm like, actually, I'm golfing in about an hour, so can we make it for next week? He's like, buddy, this job's not for you. Don't worry about it. He basically hung up on me. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, all right. So I called him back. I'm like, listen, I didn't know it was that serious. Like immediate position you're trying to fill. I said, I'll be right there.
He
I guess
said,
guy's serious, man, right? So
I didn't
I'm
know
like,
it was that serious.
right. I was like, I can come now. I'm like, I'll come right now. So I went there. I think I went there the next day,
Wow.
but it was a Thursday, so I went there next day, and the rest is history.
But
19.
but there was a time when you weren't doing as well as you're doing now, right? Like you did you come out of the gate selling 100
What?
cars a
Mentally,
month?
financially, physically. I mean, what are we
Yeah,
talking?
sure, all
I
of
mean,
it.
you always want to grow, right?
Right,
As a
absolutely.
20-year old kid, was I doing as good, financially? Was I selling 100 cars out of the womb? No, you know what I mean. So,
Out of the
but
womb, dude.
but
Okay,
there was some major levels that I plateaued through,
right.
that got me where I was today. And if you watched what I said on stage, which you might not have, then you would know what some of those plateaus were. That
Right.
I stopped making excuses. I stopped looking at what everybody else was averaging. I stopped listening to people tell me how good I was, and man, great job, great job. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
actually, all they were doing was holding my coattails, because by telling me great job, that starts to change your mentality a little bit. Yeah, great job, man. These levels are fine. They're great. You're dominating. You're selling 2, 3 times cars as many people. But I always in the back of my head, until I got it to the front of my head, knew that I was destined for greater things. 30 cars I could sell in my sleep now. So to me, like 30
Yep.
cars back then, and people are like, man, I don't get how you do it, man. I sold 28, and I'm whooped. Like, well, what's whooping you? The running around, the paperwork, like the mental part, like that's what I don't understand, what everybody's talking about. So, you know, once you learn how to refine your processes, it's a lot easier to get through. Many
Lost.
I'll shortcut any of the stuff.
You there? Your audio.
Yeah, I'm here. I was just kidding. I'm here.
Your audio did cut out for a second. Wow.
Hit the mute button on me, huh?
No, never, dude. So like
this is really what it's all about, right? So if you want to believe that you're a champion all day, and the Eagles, I don't know if they did it right or wrong, but they ripped down the Super Bowl sign in their locker room, right? They didn't want it there. They did. They didn't want it there. They didn't want the mindset of you're a champion, and I get that in some respects. Maybe they should have kept it up, but when they were the underdog, they were the hungry dog, right? So to me, you might have heard me saying it a bunch of times, but the Rocky One mindset, right? Yep. The Rocky One mindset is where you want to be. You want to be Rocky One, fighting every single day to get through your goals, to be number one, to stay the champion. Because if you're not, somebody's going to come from behind, like you did in Rocky 3, right? He's hanging out with the robot, he's driving around in his Lamborghini or his Ferrari, and he got whooped. He got whooped. So you don't want to be that guy. You got to keep your mindset. You got to keep your mindset strong.
You're right,
and
dude.
Hungry. Hunger is one of the biggest things, and it's hard, man. You start to get a little coin in your pocket. You start to listen to everybody tell you how good you are, how great you are. It could absolutely tear you down, and it can all get swept right out from under you.
You're right, man. You're
Seen
right.
it happen.
And I want to go to. Do you mind if I guide this conversation?
Sorry, do I even need you?
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to let Frank take over. I'm going to go make a sandwich. So, no, dude. So there are people on here, though, that might be stuck at 7, 8, 9 cars, or they're stuck. Maybe they're not in car sales, but they're stuck. And you know that it's a shift in the mind, right? What do you say to that guy that's like, man, I sold 12 last month. I want to do, I want to hit 25 next month. Like, what? Okay. Help that guy. Drill it down to just that guy.
Stop worrying about what you did last month, because last month's not going to get you to where you want to be this month, right? So you're not saying, hey, I sold 22 and I need to get 25. You're saying I sold 12 and I want to get to 25. And what I understand is a lot of managers or a lot of people would say, whoa, slow down. You're never going to get from 12 to 25, right? They'll put these limits on everybody instead of just saying, go for it, right? So you have to be able to take and put enough effort into it and figure out ways. So, one of the things I said, and, I'm like, this might blow a couple people's minds. I don't sell 100 cars a month. I don't. I absolutely do not sell 100 cars a month. If I had to physically sell 100 cars a month, every single month, from start to finish, I would never be able to do it. The way I can do it is everybody around me sells cars for me. All I do is meet, greet, talk them through the process, show them everything. So, if you're trying to get, people to sell from 12 to 25, you got to get the community involved. So, you want to grow it, get out there, take a ton of action, put a ton of effort in, and come up with a plan, come up with a social media plan. It's so much easier to do it nowadays. And I don't want to sound like this guy now. Oh, it's so much easier to do it. Blah blah blah. When I was growing up, I used to walk, but it was, man. I was pounding the pavement before Facebook, right? I was going out to body shops, meeting the owners, meeting not just the owners, but talking to the secretary, the receptionist, the guys that were actually fixing the cars, right? Telling them about a referral program that I had, and how I treat my customers, and if they referred over anybody to me, I would take it as a personal thank you, and I would walk by, go back. I wouldn't mail the checks out. I'd actually bring them to their work. I'd bring them the $100 bird dog referral. So I started networking with body shops. Service. I got my body shop guy and my parts guy to introduce me to everybody that did business with us that was, in our dealership every single day, because these are businesses that talk to people that cars are totaled, cars are breaking. All the insurance agents in the area that I knew bought cars from me, come in to try to get customers from us. I wanted the same thing from them, so I basically started like a buying service of my own, to get my own referrals from these other businesses in the area. So, if you want to go from where you're at now and double it, triple it, you can't just say, "Oh, I want to do it," and try at one or two, places. You have to pound it, absolutely pound it. Like if I was doing something right now, I'd be getting involved in every single Facebook closed community group that I possibly could. Again, answer every question. Just get involved, ask questions, become part of the community. Don't just be that random solicitor of, "Hey, I sell cars," or just answer car questions. Get involved. Be really part of the community, and try to help people out. And people that bought cars from you, that maybe they'll talk good about you if you did a good job for them inside those communities. And people trust people in their own communities. All these little closed Facebook communities. So if you're doing it nowadays, that's probably the quickest way. But if you want to get the foundation going, I would also go locally to businesses. Businesses you do business with, bartenders. I was the world's best tipper, still am. I'd go out, it'd be $110 bar bill. I'd give her $200 and say, thank you. And this way she would remember me, right? So I come in the next time, drink, hot wings all ready for me. And, start talking to her, tell them what I did, for a living. Start talking to, the bartenders, tell them what I did for a living. And this way, who talks to more people besides bartenders and hairdressers? Not many people I know.
That's
every
right.
single day. So great referral sources for anybody trying to scale their business. That's really what everybody's trying to do right now, right? You want to scale.
Yep.
So to scale, you need people in the community to help you scale. You can't rely on the dealership's third party leads. You got to get your own.
So Stephen LaPlante has a question. I got the answer. Jonathan Dawson said, "Nice shiner." So,
I want to really know what happened. You ask Jonathan, he knows. He knows.
Right.
He went back and forth about a psychology point. He didn't. He won. Let's put it that way. He got me.
So yeah, that's because I said, "What happened?" You said you ought to see the other guy. So.
Yeah.
So Steven says, do you advertise personally on Facebook? If so, do you do it on your personal page or your business page? I'll answer that. He does. He just got a business page.
Ken has my business page. I just looked 17 followers.
Yeah,
17.
what's up with that, dude? I thought you were so famous. Why isn't everybody following you, dude?
My 13-month-old has more followers on his Baby Shark page than I do on my Facebook business page that you convinced me I needed. So.
Oh my God. So look, Frank doesn't advertise on Facebook. And I mean, I don't know, man. Would you tell a car sales guy to advertise on Facebook?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can definitely advertise on Facebook. So
yeah.
You want to do it in a intrusive way. You don't just want to be throwing up ads all the time and everything. But, advertising nowadays is just getting people to know who you are, what you do for a living. I said this many a times, but all these, car people, they'll friend request me and I'll go on and I look at most of their, requests and, I pull it up. And if you're not doing anything like innovative, I don't really friend request. I don't need to see you selling a car in Iowa. So if you want to follow me, you're more than welcome to see what I'm doing. But if you're not doing anything innovative that interests me, I don't need you clogging up my news feed. But the funny thing is, like, they'll request me and, send me an instant message. Hey, I requested you, I'd really like to be friends. I'm like, okay. I go on their page and it doesn't even say what they do. Like, it doesn't even tell me that you actually work for a car dealer or where you work at or what you do in the car business.
Right.
So, pretty crazy, actually.
Yeah. And by the way, I want to say thank you, at least from my perspective. Dude, we've had a lot of people share this out. I mean, a lot.
Really? I can't see it.
Well, it's popping up on my page since we went
live. It's good
because
Ken's paying me $100 a share to blow up his wow factor right now, the group that he's in. So the wow factor, that I was the first
wow
one.
Formula.
The wow formula.com. .com that he made me sign up first for. So just so you know, no, I'm just kidding. I was the first one. I'm like, man, I love what you're doing. He's got some unbelievable content on there. I've learned a lot because I'm not very techie. You know what I mean? So people are like, oh, you're the Facebook guru, this, that, the other thing. I'm not very techie. So Ken's walked me through, a lot of technical stuff on there, and then just the connection power that he has through some of the people. Anybody I ask about, I'm like, hey, do you know this person? That person's like, oh yeah, I did his website. Oh yeah, I'm working on her book. I'm like, oh, do you know Oprah? Yeah, I'm going to her house for dinner tomorrow. Like, guy knows everybody. He's unbelievable.
I don't know Oprah, not yet. Yeah, so thanks for the props, bro. So and you are AirPods are shit. What's that mean?
They can't hear me.
I can hear you just fine. I don't know what that.
Okay.
Maybe he meant to say they are like the. Hey, that's the shit, dude. Um, maybe he left that out. So Mitch Brewer said Ken's gonna have a fleet of Hondas, right? So 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 the mindset is unbelievably important, obviously.
Right.
And don't look
I
back.
can't. I won't. These are all things you got to take out of your head, right? So,
Yeah,
like I said, I lied to myself when I was selling 50 cars, and I'm like, man, this is great. I'm driving around in a $150,000 Mercedes.
yeah.
I got my in my head wrapped around the wrong way and the wrong way to do things. It took a lot of it took some major things in my life to actually snap my mindset out of just worrying about what was supposed to be the status quo, what I was supposed to be doing with my life at that point, what how I was supposed to act and how I was supposed to treat people being this car salesman. Once I started understanding people, being more compassionate and have more patience for people's situation, it changed my life. It changed the way that I do business. It changed the way that I treat people every day in my life. And, that's how I was able to get, through some of these plateaus, not doing things the way that, people told me I was supposed to do them, or, this is the way you should be acting. You're making this or doing that, and this is where you should be spending your money on it. That's the mindset. Stay hungry. You know what I mean? So I drive a pickup truck. People are like, what do you have? Like a Bentley or something like that? I'm like, yeah, I got a pickup truck, man. It's all good. Love my pickup truck.
Dude, I love you, dude, but I cannot see you driving a Bentley. I don't know why. I just can't. I can't see it. I can't
That's
see it.
come out with a self-driving car. My buddy John Port, we had this conversation a couple weeks ago. He said it, and I agree with him 100%. The day that Tesla or any of these Honda or whoever comes out with a fully autonomous self-driving car, and I can just get in and it takes me wherever I have to go, like I'm on the airplane, and there's a pilot on there. I don't care what it costs. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth the time and effort. Anywhere I'm driving, I can do whatever I have to do the entire time and not have to worry about anything. So,
Dude, it's insane. I've not been to the dealership and seen you in action, but I have literally just for I don't know how else to say it, just for shits and giggles. I've called you on a Saturday on your cell phone
yeah, I know you're
intentionally.
messing with me on. So I know you are. I know what you're doing. I'm in your mindset already.
And dude, you answer.
Sure, I do.
Like you answer. You're selling 15 cars on a Saturday and you answer your phone. Like that just blows me away. And I'm not calling to buy a car, but you still answer the phone. It's insane.
That's what you think. Until I'm shipping one to your door.
Hey man, we'll be getting a car from you. But so look, what did I title? I don't even remember what I titled this video. Mindset, something else, man.
You didn't
Jeez.
prepare, man. You didn't prepare.
I'm pulling up my notes. Daily routines and answering questions. So we've talked about mindset. We haven't talked a whole lot about daily routines. What are some of your and again, what are some of the routines that you would attribute some of your success to?
Sitting around watching 6 hours of Netflix every night.
Right?
Sitting on the couch eating chips most of the day.
Binge watching Netflix for sure.
Been watching Netflix. Yep. Being lazy.
That helps.
Talking on the phone to my friends all day about absolutely nothing.
Right.
Surfing the internet with no intention and just buying things all day on Amazon. These are all things in the day in the life of me that have made me successful.
Right.
And where I want to be. You have to put the work in. You know what I mean? So no magic fairy is going to come down and sprinkle this pixie dust on you, right? And say, just because I have this mindset, I'm going to be great. It doesn't work that way. So you have to have the mind, the body, and the soul, right? You have to take the action to actually get this done. So you can believe all you want. You can go to all these conferences in the world, get yourself all hyped up. You can read every single book that anybody has ever written on mindset and Tony Robbins and whoever you want to listen to. It makes no difference in the world what you know, unless you take the action, right? Unless you take the action to actually become great, become the greatest, version of yourself. So I get up early in the morning, most mornings. Some of the mornings I'll wake up. I grab the iPhone. As soon as you wake up, 5:30, and I'll go through Facebook just like everybody does. But you have to snap out of that quick, right? Because
Yeah.
that can't be from 5 to 8. Can't be laying around for 3 hours watching what Ken did and what everybody did on Facebook. So get up, get a big cup of coffee, something with a really good slogan on it and a heart inside the cup. So you know
Uh,
that everybody loves you. And I go through and just start working, man. I'll get up, go in my office, go through everybody I didn't get a hold of, go through all the forms of communication, write them on down. Facebook, instant messenger, everything. Make sure I get back to everybody, and just start my day with you put in my intro video there, high five in the mirror to set your mindset, right?
you
Love
got
being me,
you
and
got
then
it, man.
just get it going, man. Go to work every day. Don't go to work and
Dude,
talk.
Ollie Reed is on. Ollie Reed is on.
My buddy.
Ollie,
Yeah,
he's
I
the
love that
man.
guy. Him and Damien. Damien reached out to me, man, when I was right before I was about to go on stage. Said, "Listen, me and Ali are with you. I know you're going to crush it. If you need anything, call me." These are two of the most humble people and giving people that I know in the
I,
world. These
I,
guys. So,
yeah.
and I try to model myself off of what they're doing too, because they're doing it the right way. They're definitely doing it Frank's way. They're doing it their way, and I envy them 100%.
They are a couple of amazing human beings, man. And I've never spoken with Ali. However, we're friends on Facebook. But Damien and I I mean, that dude.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
the best.
oh my God, like
He's the best, man.
he's unbelievable. And Sean Hayes said, "Nice black eye."
Yeah, Sean knows the story too.
Yeah.
If wants to know the story, you have to watch my video. So it was so funny. So I was at the other days there. Somebody said something to me, and he's like, "Oh man," he's like, "Yeah, you were awesome up on stage, man. You killed it." I'm like, "You seen it?" He goes, "Yeah, I seen the whole thing." He goes, "Yo, how'd you get that? How'd you get that black eye?" I'm like, "Oh man, that was you. You definitely watched it, man. Good job."
Yeah.
I won't,
Did you
I
say
won't,
it? Did you say it? Did you call him
yeah.
out?
Yeah, I said, man, it was good, wasn't it? Did you watch the whole thing? He goes, yeah, right from the beginning, man. It was awesome. All right, good. So how'd you get that black eye? Never mind. You're good. All
I
good.
think you said, let's talk about the pink elephant in the room or the elephant in the
Yeah,
room.
the big
The,
elephant
the
or gray
elephant in
elephant
the
or
room.
whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, dude. So, well, somebody just said those darn iPhones. So,
That's it,
so,
man.
so look with the daily routine. So,
So here's going to be my new daily routine is I'm going to get out of my comfort zone again, right? Because
yeah,
you start to get to a comfort zone of, oh, you're selling 100 cars. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. Take a picture with me. Tell me what you're doing, right? You'll
right.
fall to this trap. Hey, use my widget to get me, get yourself more sales. And my daily routine is going to be I'm going to try things that I've never tried before. We're going to go to Instagram. We're going to start doing some click funnels. We're going to start doing a couple things that I haven't done before. Not just rest on what I'm doing and say, hey, this is going to be successful. If I keep doing it that way, you have to be able to adapt and change to what the market is. So people want cars brought to them, right? Some people don't want to come into the dealership. I'm noticing more and more car shoppers for people. People pay a car shopper anywhere from $500 to $1,000, right? Because they see the value in it. Some people would say, I would never spend that on a car, somebody to shop for a car for me, but they're doing it every day because they see value in it.
Yeah.
So, if there's value there, then, I'm missing something in the business. If people don't want to come into the dealership, they shouldn't have to. So I'm going to come up with a way that I'm going to be able to drop off a car, deliver it, do the paperwork, right at your doorstep. I think that's the next way to do things. You don't have to come to the dealership. You don't have to wait around. If you're comfortable doing it, then we should be comfortable, giving it to you. Is really
So,
the way that it's going to be.
and I know that you don't deal with this really
Mm-hmm.
anymore, but I'm assuming that at some point you did or you have. Maybe you still do. What's the best way to counter? And I don't mean to get into our Q&A, but I want to answer this question for Michael Ray. What's the best way to counter a customer or is it? I'm not in the car business, but I believe it's called an up. I'm just kidding. I say that like I know. But like, what's the best way to counter a customer? What do you say to somebody who says, "I'm just looking"?
Awesome. Most people don't put their shoes on, 1 foot at a time and say, honey, let's go. We're going to go out and buy a car, right? So somebody says there's looking. Listen, I understand most people don't just sit at home, put their shoes on, and say, let's go out and purchase a car. My job is to be, 100% transparent with you here at the dealership, give you all the information that you're looking for, so that we can make an educated decision together to see if this is the place you want to do business, and if I can find the right car and the right deal for you. Is that fair enough?
Love it,
Great,
dude.
awesome, boom.
There
And then
you
just
go.
start trying to figure out what they're trying to tell you, and go from there. So not, oh man, just these things that people tell you to say. Just looking. Were you looking for a 2-door or a 4-door? Oh, I don't
Right?
know. These are questions going to push me away. But if I
Yeah.
just said, if I came in and said, oh, I'm just looking, I'd do it too when I go into places, because that's just like a defensive mode. But
Yep.
somebody say, hey, listen, man, no problem. My job is to be 100% transparent with you, give you all the information. You don't do this every day. I actually do. This is your buying experience, so we're going to take it however fast or slow that you want, and just be able to walk you through the whole process so we can make an educated decision. That's where the goal is at right there.
Yeah.
Actually, people understand that you care about them. You have their best interest at heart. At least you'll be able to at least establish a little bit of the trust factor, because they never hear that anywhere. Most people don't hear that when they go in for anything. All they feel like is they're going to try to get sold.
Right.
Even some people that want to get sold, when it comes down to it, they get a little, antsy, and they'll back away. So we as salespeople assume that people know what they're coming into a dealership for.
Right.
Most of the time they don't, right? And and that's where the whole order taker thing comes from, right? So if you're an order taker, that's great. You know what I mean? That's a goal of mine, just to take orders and write cars. But if something doesn't go exactly as planned, that's when the order taker or the salesman that doesn't have the right training, doesn't know what to say. So that's when they lose that customer. They walk out, and that person could have actually been there to purchase a vehicle. So you got to know what to say from the script. Can't just be the script. That's what I'm saying about the 20 recipe steps. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's not follow these recipe steps every single time, because every situation is different. And the more problems you can solve, the more cars you can sell.
Right.
The more money you make, the more good you can do back in the community with the money. So, it's a cycle. It's a whole cycle of it. But if you want to know what you have to say, take that verbatim. Don't deviate from it. Just use that little word script, whichever one of the two that I just said there, and just use that every time, and it'll put people at ease, rather than one of these quippy things that everybody tells you to say that doesn't work, because they've heard it everywhere.
What if they just want to walk around
Mm-hmm.
the lot and just
Sure.
look and browse, and they don't want?
It's their buying experience, absolutely. But at the same point, they don't really know what my lot is. Listen, I have 9 acres of cars. We got 900 cars here. You invest the time to drive out here. I want to make sure that you're getting the right experience. So let me grab a couple keys. I'll pull them up for you. If you'd like, I'll just go over the car, let you take it out for a test drive. I recommend not just driving a car around the block. Around the block, everything could feel good or bad. You don't know. Take it on your normal driving routine. Drive it up to where your work is. Drive back home. See, put it in your driveway. See how it feels. Go home. Show your family. Show whoever might be interested in it. But once you start, treating people with the respect that you would want, you respect their time and their intelligence, they'll open up to you. So not everything is 100%. Oh man, you're Frank Crinite. Come in and buy a car. It works out a lot of times like that, because people already trust me, because the community's already built this trust in me from doing business with me. They know, and they shout to the highest hills to come see me. So that's how I sell so many cars. That's how Ali sells so many cars. We don't actually have to sell the car. We have to solve problems. But not every deal is like that. So I'm still doing hand-to-hand sales. Probably more than most salespeople are doing, that are saying they're selling 20 or 30 cars. They think everything for us is lined up. It's not. We're still doing that 20, 30 of, this is the first time you're meeting me, too. So we're getting through that everybody's, I'm so tired after 20 or 30. How are you doing 100? Right. So we're doing that. Plus we're doing our other 70, 80, 90, 100 cars on top of that.
That's insane.
So, once you get that out of your mind that it can't be done, or it's too hard, or there's paperwork, or my F&I is too slow, or stop freaking crying, figure it out.
Right.
Stop looking for everybody else in the world to help you. My boy Shaka Dyson, man, my heart is still pumping from his speech, man. Stop with the victim mentality. It was insane, man. My head was about to explode. I wanted to run out of there and just start working harder than I ever worked before in my entire life, man. I walked behind stage. I got out of my seat as soon as it came off. I went back. I
I
hugged him, man. I'm like,
I
man,
actually
you
I actually
just
saw
my freaking mind.
I
You blew it.
saw
It was
that.
unbelievable.
I saw that on somebody's live stream. I think Jonathan Dawson. I think he was live streaming and he panned around, and I'm like, dude, I think Frank just ran
Oh my
backstage.
god, man! I felt compelled to go hug him, man. I had to shake his hand and hug him. He had a great story, man. Rough life, great
Oh,
story. You know what? He turned it around.
yeah,
He didn't sit there and say, "Why me?" You
yeah,
know, oh man, life's so hard. Oh man, I'm homeless. You know, this is the way it's going to be. He didn't blame anybody else. He took ownership. I take
dude.
ownership of everything.
I've spent, like, Shock is a client of mine also. You're a client of mine too.
I don't.
So,
Am I really?
yeah.
Uh,
So aren't you? But
I did
so,
give. I did give you $1 for my intro video.
yeah,
That's
no,
right.
wait, for
Ken made my intro
for
video. I sent him $1 on Apple
yeah,
Pay, and he took it.
he
He
did.
took my dollar.
I did. I sure as hell did. I'm like, dude, you ain't gonna send me $1 and I'm gonna sit on it.
Love it.
That's
Take it all,
mine.
man. I love it.
But so Shock is a client of mine, and I
I
mean,
know.
we've
We
spent,
talked about you. We
dude.
talked about you.
He is like there is not a sob story that compares. Like that dude, he could literally, he could, if he wanted to, right? If he wanted to be that guy, he could be that guy, and he's got
Well, listen. If anybody has the right to be that
right.
guy,
He
after
does.
just after just a half hour of story.
Uh-oh. What happened? I lost you, dude. There, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Our Skype call dropped.
Okay.
Anyway, after about a half hour of what?
After a half hour of listening to his story, if anybody in the world had the opportunity to lay down and be a victim, I mean, it's him, you know, and he
Yeah.
didn't, and that like resonated with me, unbelievable, because you know I've been through a lot of things in my life too, and I could have said boo-hoo, woohoo, you know, not as dramatic as what you know his was, but
Oh.
I'm glad I didn't either, you know, so I felt compelled to go back and tell him. You know how great it was that he could actually share that story and how passionate he was. Man, I felt it. I felt like I was there the whole time that he was
Wow.
telling that story. You know, so
Yeah.
uh, that's one of the things, man. Stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. Well, my managers or my details too slow or my well, figure it out for yourself. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
nobody's there, even though if they tell you are, you know, to help you more than what yourself is. So
Amen, dude.
yeah,
Jeez. So and that's another point. Like you're running kind of your own business within a business, and like you've got a lot of autonomy. Did you always have that? Did it take time? Did you or how did that work out?
well, sure. The more cars you sell, the more money you make for any business, the
Yeah.
more clout you gain, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
there's stuff that you can get away with that you know you won't get away with if you're an 8 car guy. But if you have potential, that was one of the things I said, you know, to during my speech is management. You know what I mean? Owners, GMs, sales managers. You know, do the best thing in the world and get all these speed bumps and everything out of the way of somebody that has talent. So that they can grow it. So that's all I really need my managers to do. But they do a lot more. So they move speed bumps for me. They get involved in deals for me. You know, when I'm jammed up with 7, 8 people, you know, at a time, they're not just there to sit there and desk deals and, you know, print out numbers. I mean, I don't need somebody to hit a button and print numbers for me on a menu. You know what I mean? I need people to be involved, and you know that's what we do at our store. So it takes community, it takes work ethic, and it takes, you know, people around you. So people are always like, "Do you have assistants? Do you have assistants?" No, I'm looking for an assistant. Going to be, you know, definitely pursuing it. That's one of the other angles I'm going to take, and it's not going to be an assistant. They're going to be a team member. So, you know, I'm gonna have them invest in me, and I'm going to invest in them. So they're going to be a team member that I take on to help get myself to the next level. But you know, I'm not going to wait for anybody to sit around and say, "Hey, here's your assistant." You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's the victim's mentality, and it's not who I am. So you know, nobody's going to care as much as I do about, you know, Frank Crinite Enterprises. So
Yeah, dude. I think that's the other thing is there's I mean, I don't care if you're working for somebody or not. I've worked for companies where I was in sales, knocking on doors, doing running appointments,
Right.
and
Are you really working for somebody if they're
no,
not writing you a check every single day? If you're not doing anything. So I get if you're not doing anything, productive, and a business is just giving you a check, and that's what you want to do, and that's all
right,
fine and good. But if you're paid to produce
right,
in any instance in life, then you're working for yourself, because if you're not producing, you're not eating, you're not helping yourself, you're not doing your family a justice. You know what I mean? So if I went to work all day and just kicked back and put my feet up and talked about sports and talked about
yeah,
health and talked about everything else in the world that's going on, I'd be doing myself an injustice.
yep,
I'd be doing my owner an injustice. I'd be doing the managers who depend on, salespeople for their paycheck injustice.
yep,
I'd be doing everybody else in my dealership that when things flow downhill or uphill, that get paid from when a sale happens, all the way down to, my dog who wouldn't be able to eat, you know what I mean, if I didn't sell. So, I'd be doing my family an injustice, because I'd be sitting at work doing nothing. At that point, I should be sitting at home doing nothing.
right.
Hanging out with my family rather than, hanging at work, with a bunch of people that, are your coworkers. So, do you work for yourself? Absolutely. You work for yourself every single day. So that's one of the ways you definitely get your mindset out of a victim's mentality, and get it to, get yourself up to, the mindset of it's all on you. You got to take ownership of everything that happens in your life. And that's where I'm at right now.
Dude, I love it, man. and I know that you have insurance company or insurance agents and companies that are bird dogging and all these other. I mean, that's
It's not even about the bird dog anymore.
right.
You know what I mean? It's not really about the money. Like, I refer people. I don't ever really care about anything monetarily.
Right.
If they respect me, they'll send somebody back to me. That's usually how I do business with just about everybody. I don't need the $100, $50. Not that I don't like it or want it. You know what I
Right.
mean? But it's not why I refer somebody over to a particular business or actually, I never really referred to a business. If I don't have somebody in that business that I know and trust, I don't just say, "Hey, go to Allstate over here. Go see my buddy Kevin." You know what I mean? Go see my buddy Matt at Nationwide. Go see this person. I give them their number. I make sure that I'll put them in a three-way conversation, or put them in a text message, so I get to introduce them, because I want to make sure that anybody that I'm putting my name on,
Yep.
Does business, basically the same way that I do, and respects the client, respects their, their wishes and their best interests at heart. That's the only reason I refer anybody over to anybody. So, that's the way it should be done, not for a check, because you're selling yourself out at that point if you're sending somebody away for a check.
But I mean, you also, you've worked out those. They're reciprocal relationships, right?
Has to be a reciprocal relationship.
So you have insurance people, you have body shops, you have all these people, and then you do a lot of community events, you do a lot of charity things, you do
We
the
got our golf outing, the Delco group. So we
right,
started charity. Me, my buddy John Poor, Mike Mahalan. We got like 9 guys
yeah,
from the community so far involved, and we're growing it. And we got our first started a 501c, a nonprofit, and we got our first big event coming up Thursday. And I'm like a little kid in the candy store right now, man. I can't wait to get this going. I'm so excited. It's like the couple days before Christmas right now. So community came through huge for us, huge corporate sponsors that do business here in Delaware County. Delco, it's why we're the Delco group. We'll play off of Delaware County, and it's big for me. So not only is it getting me attention, it's great, and that'll help you out in your sales career too.
yep,
It's not really about that. It's about giving back, and that's what we're going to do. So I've invested a lot of my time, efforts, and my own money. So I'm always a firm believer in put your money where your mouth is. I could never tell anybody else to give and me not give. So, I already wrote out a $2,500 check as a corporate sponsor for this golf outing. Even though I am the golf outing, right? We are the golf outing.
right,
So did all the other big guys that are on the team here. And Piazza Honda sponsored a hole, and we got a hole-in-one competition going there with our car and banners and everything up, and the community sees that. So the more community events you can get out to, and actually do face-to-face, not just Facebook, but actual face-to-face, in the community, it's you're going to be way better off shaking hands, kissing babies every day than just liking and commenting on everything. So
Totally agree with you, man. 1,000%. And that's something else. Is I've never been in car sales. However, I've been in sales my entire life, and we're about the same age. I'm like 40. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm 50. But but one of the things that I've always done is said, look, if I'm going to work for a company, one of the very first things I'm going to do is, where's the file of all the customers that aren't getting attention from all those salespeople that left? And then I'm gonna hit them up. I'm gonna be like, hey,
I walk around my dealership every single day over service. I make eye contact with everybody. I say hi to everybody that makes eye contact with me. Everybody's like, hey man, Frank, how you doing? Oh man, another great day at Piazza Honda, right? Not, the weather sucks today. Oh, the Eagles lost. Oh, it's the end of the world. Anybody says, hi, man, how you doing? They might not even want the response. But again, man, another great day at Piazza Honda. Just when I think it can't get any better, it does. How are you? They're like,
right.
I'm great. I'm good. Everything's good, right?
Right.
You need to not just have your mindset, but your aura of how you handle yourself needs to be the same way, right? You need to be shaking hands, kissing babies, asking for votes, actually talking about people's kids, ask them about it, build your relationship. And that's one of the things that I see a lot of people do is, everybody's like, well, man, I'm a nice guy too. Why can't I sell cars? Well, being just a nice guy doesn't get things sold. So I see a lot of people, the first time they meet somebody, they spend too much time trying to build that relationship. It's almost fake, right? So not that I don't care about your kids when I come in to buy something, not that I don't care about your family, right? Everything. But the first time that I'm there to meet somebody, I do want to know that you're a family person. I do want to know all that stuff, but I also want to get to the point of why I'm actually spending my time away from my family, spending my time away from my job, spending my time away from everything else that I could be accomplishing and getting done in my life to just get me to my goal of why I actually came into your store or your facility or, actually had to talk to Ken for a half hour today. Like, why did I have to do that, right?
Yeah.
I want to get what it is, and then we can build our relationship,
right.
After we get through that. So, don't spend all day working on the relationship until you solve that person's problem. Once you solve that person's problem, it'll be a lot easier to build on the relationship. I have guys at my work now like, man, we try to model and be nice and, all that stuff. Well, nice doesn't always get it done. Solving people's problem is what gets it done.
There's nothing truer, dude. Nothing truer. And again, I think that you go. I've never seen you in action, but I would imagine
I'm gonna start wearing a hidden camera.
Yeah, you need
blur out all the personal stuff, and I'll get people to sign off on it.
Those ink pen things, right?
Yep.
So but you go the extra mile, like.
Right. I mean, and the extra mile is not even hard because most of the time the extra mile is like, just a little bit more than what anybody else is doing is the extra mile. So it's not like you have to do like things over and above and beyond everybody. Right. You just got to do just a little bit better and you'll sell a lot more cars. You don't have to be me to sell a lot more cars. You just got to be a little bit better in every aspect of your life. And it's amazing the results that you'll have. It's absolutely amazing.
It's true.
You can't do it till you believe it. And you can't believe it till you start doing it. So you got to start doing
it. Do you want to take any questions?
Sure, I don't care.
Anybody have any questions for Frank?
You're paying my hourly wage, so it's all good.
Yeah.
It's just deductions of what I owe you. Deductions.
I'm gonna have to sell my Bentley to pay you.
Yeah.
So does anybody have any questions for?
Every time I say the wowformula.com, thewowformula.com.
That's right.
$200 credit. Wowformula.com.
Yeah, $1. $1. I have to start Apple paying you right now. So, yeah, I mean, dude, you've covered a lot of things. I've had you. We've done Facebook Lives before. I watched your speech in Orlando, and man, you freaking killed it.
Cool, man. There's a lot of things I could have improved on it, but yeah, I appreciate that.
But you were just humble and real and yourself.
Is there anywhere? I mean, do you want to be arrogant and fake and somebody else? Like these are things that everybody says to me, and it's like, wow. I mean, is that who you are? You know what I mean? So
right.
I guess to me, to be arrogant and fake and act like somebody else wouldn't be the right way to do anything in life, right? Especially not if you're you're up in front of a bunch of people trying to tell your story. You know, why would you want to be anybody else but you? So
Love it,
that's just
dude.
who I am.
I love it. Well, nobody's asked any questions, but hey,
Cool.
man, this has been fun. It's
It
been a
was
lot of
fun, man.
fun. Yeah.
It always is. Yeah. Sunday night, everybody's in bed. I got nothing else to do. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. I'll hold it. Somebody, um, Jesse says, how can we get access to your speech in Orlando?
I think Jonathan Dawson actually he slipped one of his guys in and slipped the microphone on me. So I think he said he'll be sending that to me. So I'll have a nice high quality one of it.
Yeah.
I believe
Natalie Phillips.
Natalie Phillips hooked me up. She filmed it for me.
She did.
She put it, I think, on my Facebook page. So you can
Yeah.
go through. Let me tell you about this conference. So I've only been to 2 conferences, right? So I've only been to 10X, which you invited me to. Got me down there.
I called you out, actually.
Great group of speakers. It was unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
They had all these superstars, David John and what's his name, Harvey, and
Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey, and Grant Cardone. I mean, they were great, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they were life changing to me. But to actually go to the hustle and grind, and to listen to real people that are doing this every single day, in the auto industry, and then people that weren't in the auto industry. I mean, it blew my mind. It was full of so much content and just things you don't think about every day. Just change your mind. So people are like, man, how could you take off and blah blah blah, and it was just well worth it. Well worth it. So if you get the chance to get to the next hustle and grind, definitely come, because these guys did an amazing job. Dave Benson, Sean Hayes, Glenn Lundy, what a great guy that guy is.
Oh,
man.
my God.
That man is destined for great things. I'm glad. I'm going to say I knew him when I did one of his shows. When
Right?
Glenn's probably he's going to forget about me when he's all big somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll invite me to come, like, be an extra, stand behind him or something like that on one of his big shows.
Right.
But I don't think I'm going to be on any of his shows in his next life. He's going to be unbelievable, man.
Glenn Lundy he's unbelievable. So
Good,
let
man.
me
He
see.
deserves
I think we got a couple of questions real quick. Let's see. Where did it go? We got a couple. So we got Steve LaPlante says, what is the best way to use community to your advantage? I ran for office and won. I coach. I volunteer as much as I can. Haven't figured out how to use it to my advantage.
So I would never run for office if I was in sales. You're gonna alienate half your customer base, especially this political climate in the country right now. So
Yeah.
You'll never hear me talk about politics on my page. I don't care if somebody, basically held a torch to my feet. I'm never going to talk about politics, because all you're going to do, great, you're going to prove your point. You're going to make your position, and you're going to lose half your customer base. So
Yeah.
I actually see running for politics as a detriment to sales if you're trying to appeal to the masses. So, and I wouldn't say using the community to your advantage. So you have to really believe this stuff. You have to get involved. Like, I'm not doing charity work to get anything out of it. I'm doing it because I actually care and I want to give back. It's near and dear to me to help people in this community. I've seen poor, I've seen the hurt, I've seen everything that goes on here. And all the funds we're raising are staying 100% in Delaware County. So, every dollar we have come in is a dollar going out to the community. So you actually have to care. It can't be what you're going to be able to take advantage of. That's the wrong reasons to get into the community. So you have to actually go out, care, get involved in these events. Not everybody can start a charity, but get involved with a local charity that's actually doing real good stuff in the community. And from there, the laws of attraction, should bring back what you're doing tenfold.
Yeah. I'm not in car sales, but I've been in sales a long time, and I totally agree with you. Ollie Reed even said no benefit at all. He's right. You're right. So Rick Kruger. So let me just recap that. Don't get into politics if you're in sales.
Somebody asked me the other day, you should really run for mayor. No, he makes a lot less money than me. He takes a lot more aggravation. and he can't probably get as much accomplished as I can. So,
Yeah.
I think I can do more in the community, what I'm doing, and
Yeah.
the amount of people that I can touch, that I could if I did hold a political post. So
That and you couldn't take the pay cut.
my wife couldn't. I don't know what I make.
Yeah,
She
right.
she
You don't know
uh,
what you make. That's so
yeah,
funny.
the Amazon guy does. It's funny. Bill have actually asked me that on stages. So I asked anybody if they had any questions, because so many people asked me questions all week, and I wanted to do a little bit of Q&A. We ran out of time at the hustle and grind, but he's like, "Yep, how much money did you make last year?" I said, "You know what? When I was your age, I might have actually not been mature enough and answered that question, but I'm a little bit smarter, wiser, and understand that that's not going to benefit anybody. You should be asking me how I got to the income levels that I got,
Love that, dude.
is what you should have been asking me, not, how much, because how much doesn't matter. How much isn't going to change anything in his life. How I got to that level could change, things in his life, but actually how much, that's what I mean. Even Steven said 100 cars, like, it doesn't matter. Like, how did you get, to that level? Not,
Right.
where are you at? Doesn't matter where you're at. How'd you get there? How are you going to
Right.
get there? How are you going to keep growing? They're the questions you should be asking.
Amen, man. I agree. So Rick Kruger says, how do you do all your birthday wishes, anniversary, car sold anniversary to customers, email, call, postcards? How do you do
I don't do any of that stuff.
You don't do any of that.
I don't want a happy birthday from my car salesman. I don't want a happy birthday from any of that stuff. I mean, that's just me. So if I don't want it, I don't give it to anybody. What I
Wow.
do is an anniversary, every anniversary. So, and because of Facebook, I can do it super easy, because every year, every day, Facebook pops up and shows me, who I took a picture with and who I sold a car to. So I just send them a little instant message every day. Hey, congratulations. It's 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. If you need anything, I'm still here.
Yeah.
There's constant contact stuff that we do with our CRM, that does all that for us. But for me, actually, I know my buddy Bruce Blake. I don't know if he's on here. He's a good friend of mine. He came down. He stayed with us at the Hustle House and at Hustle and Grind. And he starts in October, actually September, writing out his Christmas cards, like 3,000 Christmas cards.
Oh my
The man
God.
legitimately spends. I'm like, man, you're wasting a lot of time and a lot of effort. He's like, I know, but people love them. I'm like, okay, I get it, but I'm going to call you out, Bruce, but I don't think that that's a utilization of time. If you want to pay somebody to do that,
Yeah.
or go to Staples and say, listen, here's my customer base. Could you handwrite everything out with a calligraphy machine or whatever you call that?
Right.
Maybe do it that way. But to me, that's what I mean about taking the fluff out of it. Like, does the person that I sold a car to really need to hear happy birthday from me? Like, I don't even want to hear from. I'm on vacation usually my birthday. I don't want to hear from a lot of people on my birthday. I'm 40 years old now. I'm not 8 years old. I don't need a happy birthday, every single year. It's nice to get recognized, but you get happy birthdays on Facebook. So you can just send
Yeah.
it if you're friends with all your customers, which I am, a lot of my customers.
Yeah.
They'll get happy birthdays from me on Facebook. So, Christmas cards, birthday cards, stuff like that. I understand that it's constant contact, and maybe I'm doing it the wrong way. I'm not saying that is my forte, but I don't personally send them out. I know we have an automated stuff at work. People will get emails from me all the time. They reach out to me, hey, is this or this that? I said, listen, when you get a phone call or a text message from me, it's real,
Right.
So a lot of that automated stuff's just to keep you in constant contact, which I understand. But if you're doing your job right, if you're marketing right, not selling, sale is what happens, you shake hands and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
the actual marketing aspect of it, to stay in front of everybody socially, in your community, everything. Anybody in my area thinks of a car, first thing they think is Frank Crinite. It doesn't even matter. I get people that send me customers that never even bought a car from me. They're like, man, we just see you all over the place. We hear such great things about you. Such and such just sent me here, and they never even bought a car from me, because I ask everybody, who are you referred from? They're like, oh, Joe Smith. I go on my system, I'm like, man, I never sold a Joe Smith a car. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, Joe just sees you on Facebook and he knows a lot of people that know you. I'm like,
Oh
okay, great. So I got to
wow.
find out who Joe Smith is.
That's
So that's
awesome.
how I keep constant contact with everybody. It's not
Yeah.
the long drawn out stuff that they've been telling you to do since 1982. So
Right. Hey, and in Stephen LaPlante, the political office guy, he
hmm,
did comment. So I'm gonna give him a plug. He says it is not. It is a nonpartisan parks commissioner trying to help for the kids.
okay, well
Yeah.
that's not politics then.
No,
So
that's
that's something
yeah,
different. That
yeah,
that's being a part of your community. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely,
That's
100%.
yeah.
That,
Love
that's
that.
that's that's something that. But
Props.
politics, stay away from it, man. I see it all the time, man. People have to prove their point. And I've been almost baited in so many times, not just for politics, but other things. And you're going to win that battle. Like I'm not going to lose, right? I got a real,
Yeah.
real, real, like good way that I'm going to win this. And I know it. And I have to actually type things out and I almost click, and I just erase it. You know what I mean? Because great, you're going to win. You're going to prove your point,
Yep.
to this person on the internet that they're trying to get you. They're waiting for me to mess up.
Dude,
That's what it is.
I love that. Like you see it, man. The arguments on
There's a lot of
Facebook.
trolls out there, man, and they do it just to put people and say screenshot this and this is what
Yeah,
he said, this is what he's doing, this is so you got to be you have to be ever omnipresent of everything that's going on
that's
around you
true.
and what the end result could be, not what you think it could be, what it could be.
What it could
So
be.
you got to be pretty careful.
Yeah.
Social media is very, very double-edged sword. They'll love you
Always.
today, they'll hate you tomorrow.
That's right. Think worst case scenario, right?
Mhm.
So, but anyway, so let me look through real quick and see if there's any other questions. Ali says bravo. Um, let's see, Tammy. Nope, 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 nope. PJ Quinn's on here. What's up, PJ? How you doing, bro? So yeah, I don't see any. Oh, Ali says, "Hey, I have a hard time getting over you're an Eagles fan."
I'm the world's greatest Eagles fan. You see me up there on the thing? That's it,
Oh,
man.
dude,
That's it.
that's
I,
crazy, man.
it's all good, man. I still love him. He could be a fan of anything. I'm a fan of his. It's all good. Same thing. That's the only thing I take a stand on. It really is. So the Eagles are the only thing I'll ever take a stand on. So I don't.
Right.
It doesn't matter to me who your team is or what. I have the greatest team, and I'm going to stand by them. 100%. And they're a corporate sponsor for our charity. Like they stood by me as soon as they reached out to us. They're like, man, my ticket guys, like, listen, we have funds. We like to, help out the local community. The Eagles are the pinnacle of an organization that
Wow.
is helping the community, right? So they could have that stadium sold out for the next 100 years and never have to put a dollar into anything. The owner does things the right way, and not every sports team does this. He has his
Yeah.
run for autism. Last year there was some things going on with a lot of kids here with pediatric cancer. Somebody reached out to him. They lit the stadium up in yellow for pediatric cancer for like the
Wow.
whole month of September. So that's where you want to model your, what successful businesses, what they're doing in the local community. And they reach out to us. They're like, man, if you have a legitimate, 501, set up nonprofit, let us know. We'd be more than happy to, sponsor your golf outing and, maybe some things going for us. I'm like, wow, this is great. This company's actually doing things the right way, not just putting on a facade that they're doing things the right way. They're actually doing things the right way. So
That's
I'm going to
awesome.
support them, till the day I die. So that's Eagles, Eagles, baby. That's it. They're the best.
Somebody just said, "You mean you aren't speaking of the band?" So,
Nah,
and
wait for
hey,
my
and
time.
and if you know this Ali Rita dude well enough, you think you could hit him up and see if you could, get him to be on my show?
You think you can't afford my hour?
I
Wait till you see,
know,
wait
I
till you see
know,
what he's
right?
going to charge.
I know. I've been trying to get Ali on the show. He's so busy, but I get it. But hey, Tammy Hamilton says, what do you think about using a platform like QuickPage and there's some other video texting platforms and stuff. What do you think
Yeah,
of
quick
that?
quick page. So I was talking to Chad Morgan, this week,
Chad's
and
awesome, man.
he's awesome, man. Him and Michelle are just awesome,
Oh, they're
awesome people.
incredible.
So, I put his quick page shirt on. I took a couple pictures for him, and I believe in that stuff, man. It,
Yeah.
it can help you. There's a lot of widgets and stuff out there that are just it's so much information in to get the information out. Like to me, they're more roadblocks.
Yeah.
Some of these CRMs are more roadblocks. Some of these apps you have to put things too so much information in. They're just roadblocks to me. So, something I could just walk in and say, hey, listen, you're coming to the dealership at 3 o'clock. Just want to let you know I have the keys ready for the car. Got it all washed up. just as a picture of me and a short video so you know who I am when you come in. Here's the dealership. Walk right through these doors, park there, walk right through these doors. Here's my receptionist, Jean. She's sitting here. Just come up, grab her. She'll page me. Come meet you and walk you through the process. Really look forward to meeting you, and can't wait. See you at 3:00. Thanks, guys. Boom. And if you could do that and send it through, one of these apps and, have them see that they opened it and looked at it, then, that's going to make you that much better. So there's definitely technology out there that's going to take me to the next level. That could take, car sales at the next level. But at the same point, you can't just rely on all this technology. It has to be the fundamentals. The fundamentals have to be there.
Yep.
You got to be able to walk everybody through the process. You got to be able to, you got to be able to solve problems. Then you got to be able to sell the car. You got to be able to build relationships, and then add a couple of these widgets on and a couple, programs that actually work and automate stuff for you. That's great. But if it's so much information in to get just a little bit of information out, it doesn't work for me.
And I think, part of the point you're making is, I think there's a lot of people that are just trying to use Facebook or they're just trying to use Instagram, and you're saying it's everything. If you have the time and you can use everything, but also go out and see the body shops and the insurance people and everything.
So, Ken, you're going to owe me even more money now. So, Ali, listen, do it as a personal favor to me. If you can give Ken just 6 minutes, listen, I'll pay you for the first half hour. And then if Ken wants to keep going, maybe he can kick in a couple of dollars for, the minutes or something like that. But if as a personal favor for me, because he'll just keep bugging me if not. So,
no, it's okay.
I'm just going to say it out here. So, as a personal favor from me, you can call Ali at 547-525-7575. That's his number. So write that down.
Right.
Obviously not his personal number, but that'll be funny. So as a personal favor, and then Ken will have to do more work for $1 for me. It's basically what it is. I called Ken about half hour before I had to go on stage. I'm like, dude, I need an intro video. I just came here with nothing. He's like, okay, for when? I'm like, I think I'm on in like 45 minutes. So like 45 minutes? I can't do that. I said, get that word I can't out of your vocabulary.
I'm like, dude,
figure out how you can get this problem that's presented that you didn't know you had 6 seconds ago and get it done for me.
I'm like, did they serve you crack on the flight or something? What the hell are you talking about, dude?
Do it for you. And then I sent him $1 over Apple Pay, and I said, now I paid you for it, so now you have to do it.
And I accepted it. I took it.
As soon as he accepted the $1, that's it. Now you better do what I paid you to do. And he did. He came through in like legitimately 15 minutes, but a pretty cool video. It was great. So this guy knows what he's doing, man.
Mitch Brewer. It wasn't 15 minutes, but thanks, dude.
It was close. It was close.
Mitch Brewer wants to buy a car from you now, man. I think he
lives so this is so funny, right? So there was like 30 car salesmen and car guys in the Hustle House, and we're all hanging out. And they're like, man, I sell cars, and I even want to buy a car from you. I said, that's unbelievable you said that. I said, because I actually brought a contract and a pen with me. So why don't you guys come on over here right now, right? You need a contract and you need a pen. I had both with me. I was ready to go. I said, you always got to be prepared. I need your signature right here. Just need your okay right here.
Dude, I freaking love that. So, man, look, you've given an hour and 22 minutes. I mean, I threw a little bit of my own wisdom in there.
I remember it. I remember that.
You remember. So look, dude, you've given a lot of great advice, and hopefully some folks on here learn a thing or two or three that they'll be able to implement. And if they're, unless you want to keep going, dude, we can keep going. I don't care.
I got nothing better to do. It doesn't matter.
You drank that cup of coffee. You're up till like 2.
No, I can fall right to sleep, but I'm not going to. I got things I'm going to do before I go to bed, you know. And then we're going to listen to some Audible books and go to bed. So instead of watching 6 hours of Netflix tonight, which I did get into that little routine for a while. I needed to watch every single Marvel that's ever been created in the history of Marvel. And you know what I did for my life? Absolutely zero. It was great. It was entertaining, but at some point you got to turn the entertainment off and worry about.
But dude, let's be real. Flash. That's an awesome show, man.
Sure, it's awesome, great. What is that going to do for you? How is that going to increase your income? How is that going to make you a better person?
I know.
Once you get the dumbification of America, and that's what a lot of this stuff is. It's to keep you complacent, keep you keep you from actually asking questions and doing things outside the box. All this entertainment and everything is to get your money, but it's also to almost, I feel like, keep you dumbed down so you don't, try to learn anything to get yourself better. So to me, it's going to be very rare if you see me watching, 6 hours of Netflix every single night just to get through a show. I'm not saying Netflix isn't great. It's just not what I want to do right now in my life. I'm looking for better things.
Do you have a Netflix subscription?
Oh yeah, kids watch it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
I know. I'm just asking the question.
I do.
So anyway, dude, like, you've given a lot. I mean, a lot, and hopefully, some people on here have learned a lot from you. I'm sure they have. Take it, like, you've seen the clip from Glenn Ross?
Mm-hmm. Coffees for closers.
Yeah. And he's like, I suggest you go and do likewise, right? Like, you said it earlier. You can go to all the conferences in the world. You can get all the great advice in the world, but if you're not,
everybody's got this rah in them, right? I stand in the shower every morning, like, man, today's going to be the day. I'm gonna start eating right. I'm gonna exercise, and then by 11 o'clock, there's a free pizza there, right?
Yeah.
And you walk away from it and come back 5 minutes later, there's 2 slices sitting there. You're like, all right, I'll just have one. You just ruined it. You ruined your whole mindset. You know what I mean? You have to be able to do it, and you got to commit to it. Having the mindset, knowing all this stuff is great, but you have to be able to commit to take enough action to actually make a difference. If you don't, then nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to change. All you're going to be is this believer, and then that belief's going to just blow out of your head because you're not getting any results from it. You'll be like, man, Frank's just BS. You know what I mean? The mindset thing didn't work. Well, no, the mindset thing only works when you actually apply enough pressure to make it work. So to me, you can only be as successful as how much stress in life that you can handle. And I don't feel a lot of stress. My wife texted me before I went up on stage for the first time, and she's like, "Are you nervous?" And I seen her text, and I text back. I said, "Can you tell me what that feels like?" And she's like, "You're such an idiot." I said, "I know, but all
you
good."
said that.
I said, "Can you tell me what that feels like?"
Oh God!
Right? Dude. Because my mindset was, this is it, man. I'm going to crush this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get up there, and the people are here to see me, and they want to talk to me just like everybody else they were there to see.
Yeah.
And you just go up and the same thing. You be real. You be a real person. You be you. You do you.
Yeah.
But I knew I took enough action to make it work, and it did. I've never been so humbled in my life with as many people that wanted to talk to me, wanted to hear my story, wanted to know about what training programs are going to have come out. How they can get with me, want to take a picture with me, just enthralled with, what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. It absolutely blew me away and humbled me even more, and some people that would have maybe blown them up and, head might have went in the wrong direction. But to me, it humbled me that, so many people wanted to talk to me, and, these car guys that are girls that are looking for help, because the dealership may not be helping them. They may not be training them. There's not many platforms for an individual salesperson that actually resonate. There's not many people in the world besides me, Ali, maybe a couple other big guys that are actually selling these amount of cars, and Ali's doing a great thing. He's training with Damien, and, he's doing it the right way. So there's very few people that I would actually listen to that are actually trying to help, salespeople right now out there. Besides people, there's a couple people that are really good talkers. But unless you walk the walk, I don't really respect you unless you actually walk the walk. And, Jonathan Dawson was one of them. He's showing me, all the stuff that he does, the TOs he takes, the cars he sells. Like, to me, that's real, right? So the guy's doing it. He's preaching it. He's selling it. But he's actually showing you that it works legitimately because he can do it every single time, rather than just a really good talker and has never sold cars or, sold 30 cars and just said, I'm going to just take it and, go tell people how to sell 30 cars, and they haven't done it in 20 years. So, to me, that's not the people I want to listen to.
Hey, we got Frank Lopes on here too, dude.
Frank the Hair Lopes. Where you been, man? Where is your show?
I know. He
show,
said Frank the Hair Lopes.
he's got a cash register at the house, man. You know what I mean? He opens his bank account, right? and you can't even like mine just takes a snapshot. His is like
I know,
marketing
man.
genius. That guy, he said I don't have time for Facebook Lives anymore. The Fridays with Frank. I might take over Fridays with Frank. I'm going to steal that from you. I'll Fridays
Yeah,
with Frank.
right.
We'll talk. I'm going to buy that website from him.
Right. Dude, Frank Lopes, I talked to Frank a few days ago, man. We talked for, I don't even know how long. I love that dude, man. He is freaking awesome.
Yeah,
So,
him and Damien Bordeaux. So I was supposed to go to Damien's workshop that he had in Philadelphia. And I was looking forward to seeing him, and I did commit to it, and I did apologize, but I couldn't make it. And him and Frank actually came and basically kidnapped me in my dealership. They said, "Listen, we couldn't come to. We know you were too busy that day, but we couldn't, not come and see you. We were in town." So I'm like, man, that's awesome, man. I really appreciate that. So they came. We sat around for about an hour, took some pictures, talked, and those guys took the time out of their day to come visit me. That blew me out of the water, man. It was awesome, and I was humbled by that too.
dude,
Crazy.
those guys, I mean, they're legit, man. They're
Yeah, good
legit.
people. They
And,
are
and,
legit.
and so are you, man. I was, you and I, to tell everybody about what you said to your your wife about going to the 10x Growth Con. We just
So
knew each other from
so
Facebook, and I called you out.
I bought a ticket like that. Ken called me out. He's like, we were just doing like some Facebook thing. It was on a thread, and he's like, dude, you should come to 10x. It would blow your mind. I'm like, yeah. I don't have time. That was my response. And he texted me back and he goes, I'm sure that's your response for a lot of things. And I said, you know what? It actually is. And it's an excuse. And I don't make excuses.
Yeah.
I said, you think I should be at this thing? He goes, I absolutely think you should be at this thing. I'm like, all right. So I didn't even say anything. I just booked the flight and then found out if there was a ticket. And there was. And the next morning, it's 11 o'clock at night next morning, I said, listen, I got to go to Miami this weekend. That was like Tuesday. I think it was
Yeah.
Thursday. I was leaving. I got to go to Miami. And she's like, okay, for I'm like a conference. Like, all right, good. Who are you going with? Like guys from the dealership? And I said, I don't know, some guy I just met on the internet. She's like, what? Like, yeah, just some guy. I've known him for like 2 weeks. I met him on the internet, like Max Headroom.
Oh my
It's
god.
fine. Like, listen, it's Brave New World. Everything's going to be good. It's no big deal. But you know what's great that I actually did that. I actually don't want to go anywhere with almost anybody that I know because the relationships that I formed by not being in my comfort zone of circle of friends and circle of
Yeah.
influence is really what it's about. Like to me, going to these conferences and listening to all the speakers and everything, that's only a small part of this, right?
Yeah.
So to actually be able to hang out with other people in the room that aren't as like-minded as you sometimes, might have the same, values
Yeah.
and mindset, or maybe not the same mindset, but to actually listen to people's perspectives. And to me, one of the greatest things that I ever did in my lifetime was to be able to actually change my perspective on things. So, everybody sometimes, you get political like perspectives, and that's it. I got to be a Republican,
Yeah.
right? Side could definitely have a valid point, and just because you're a Republican doesn't mean that the Democrat maybe
Right.
not be making a point in this particular instance, right? So the best thing that I ever did, not political, I'm not saying, the best thing I ever did was to just go to that conference and not know anybody. And
Nobody.
Ken introduced me to more people that have like 3 commas in their bank accounts than any I could possibly ever met by writing a big check to any organization or charity or donation at all. So this guy knows everybody. So if I picked one weird guy from the internet to go meet in Miami, I at least picked the right weird guy to go
Wow,
meet in
dude.
Miami.
You said one weird guy. Did you say one weird?
That's what my wife said. She's like, so you just meet some weird guy online. I'm like, he's not weird. He's cool. I just met him. His
Yeah.
name's Ken.
Oh my
He
god.
lives, I think, in like Ohio.
Oh my god, dude. That is so funny. Holy
But
crap.
I met you, and you're not weird. You're actually pretty cool. It was fun.
Yeah, we had a blast, dude. That was
It was just
fun hanging out with you and Josh and me. And I mean, and you were the only car guy in. We were in one of those private suites. You were the only car guy in there, and everybody else
I
did
loved
other
it. It was
things.
great. It was
Yeah,
great. So that's what I mean. So you can learn
yeah,
things from different businesses. So this is one of the things that I really want to start doing to grow my business is to go to other businesses and figure out how they're actually doing things. Go to workshops with stuff that has nothing to do with what I'm doing, arts and crafts workshop, or how they're selling whatever, to
Right.
figure out what the process is. So one of the best things I ever did was go do a reconnaissance car shop, and I went to other dealerships and pretended like I was actually somebody trying to buy a car, and figured out how bad that other dealerships' processes were to figure out where the speed bumps in my process were. So if I could do that with my business, why shouldn't I do it with other businesses?
Right.
Was what actually blew my mind at these conferences. So it's not always about the conference. People say, "Oh, conference, all it is the world's greatest timeshare sales, and everybody's going to try to sell you something." Great. If you're scared to get sold something, then you shouldn't be selling things.
Amen, dude. Amen.
I'm not scared to get sold. You should have seen me. I think I bought like 6 or 7 courses.
You did
this week. I did. I bought like 6 or 7 courses, and people are like, "Man, why is that guy selling 100 cars? Keep getting up and going back, and signing up." I'd walk up with my credit card, not walk up and say, "Hey, I'm a speaker also, blah blah blah. Give me that for free, and I'll give you my stuff for free." No,
right.
I'll pay for your stuff. You pay for my stuff. That's the way a sale works.
Yep.
And you'll actually have more value by doing it that way. You'll appreciate it more and actually maybe use it rather than just buy it because you got sold something.
God, dude, what you just said is probably the most valuable thing that you've said all night.
Man, you weren't listening to anything else I was saying then, huh?
People, yeah, I know I've listened to everything. But people need to know that, man. They need to know that.
So I went up. I probably spent $3,000 this week. So not only did I didn't get paid to speak, I didn't ask for any money. I would never ask for any money at this point, just starting off, right? They paid for my trip, paid for everything. Dave was an unbelievable host.
Yeah.
Did it big. Like we stayed in a mansion, like a $3 million mansion, blown out, catered, chef, like pool, the whole nine.
Yeah.
Not only did I take my time out, not worry about getting paid anything, I spent a lot of money there, right? But to me, it's not going to be a lot of money. It's an investment. It's an investment of how other people do things, what their mindset is thinking, how they've achieved their greatness after listening to their story. I see a lot of value to it.
Yeah.
Coach Burt, I bought his stuff. I thought, and the guy was a basketball coach. Like, what can a basketball coach teach me about selling? But his story is unbelievable, right? How he battled through and, did his job for nothing for a long time until he got recognized and battled through all the plateaus. These are things. It doesn't have to just be car sales that you're looking at to get to the next levels in your life.
He was, by the way, Michael Burt's a friend of mine. He was on here earlier. I saw him liking it.
Who is not a friend of yours? It's a smaller list. Who are these people? Who are these people?
We've met, but we're Facebook friends. I've known him for a while. He's a good dude.
Not your name dropper at all. Frank Crinite.
No, Frank Crinite. I don't know this other dude you speak of. So, dude, like, that's the point, though.
If you're old in car sales, right? If you've been doing this for a while and you're stuck in a rut, I don't care what you have to do. If you got to scrape money up, sometimes these conferences have tickets that are available for free.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor. Get to one of these conferences, a respected one where there's people talking, not necessarily just car sales people. Lisa Copeland, she was there talking. She did a great job. Who was one of the other guys that were there? Shock, I told you about. Jonathan Dawson, like all these people, you get to listen to them, you get to hear their stories, you get to hear, their perspectives, but then you get to talk to all these other like-minded people with different perspectives on things.
Yeah.
That's where the real gold's at. That's where the nuggets are at. And that's why this hustle and grind was great, because they put all these people in these houses together rather than just staying in hotels. And like, I had to come all the way across town to come meet up with you in the hotel. We had 30, 40, 50. I don't think I was supposed to bring that many people back to the hustle house. I'm like, it's the last night. What are they going to do? Kick me out? I'm like, come on back. Everybody just come back.
What are they going to do? Kick me out?
But anyway, just come on back.
Oh, my God.
It's great, man. Jonathan Dawson and Velco were holding class up on a whatever. We were outside on the veranda, and for hours they were going at it. I didn't even sleep Friday night, right? I didn't sleep Friday night. I stayed up all night. I started drinking water about midnight. I ended up staying all night because I had to get on a flight at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I can't miss this gold, this bonding. So I stayed up all Friday night with a black eye, got on a jet, flew all the way home to Philly, 8:30 got the plane. I didn't go home. I went right to work, sold 8, 9, 10 cars yesterday with no sleep.
You sold how many?
I don't even know. It wasn't a 15 card day. I could barely talk. My tongue was like hanging out of my mouth. My eyes were like they look right now. But I
Dude,
came
hey,
home.
who's there? Is Joan? Is that your mom, wife? Who's Joan Crinite?
Joan's my mom. Joan's my mom.
She's
She's on
on
here. She's
here.
up. Hey,
She's on.
mom.
She
Love you.
said hi.
Love you.
Yeah. So, dude, like what you said though about investing in, like you're out here, like I belong. I've got the WOW formula. It's 25
I,
bucks a
I,
month.
I jumped right in. Right. I was
Right,
one of
you
the first
did
ones.
immediately. In fact, you're like, dude, I'm all in. You pay for the whole year in advance. By the way, you do save 2 months if you do that. But anyway, but like I belong to a bunch of groups. I belong to groups that I'm paying one guy $48 a month. I have another group that I just joined Dean Graciosi's today. It's like
And again, I want to get in groups that don't just have to do with car sales.
right,
Don't just need to keep hearing the same stuff about everything.
right.
You can apply things to your product that you would never think of
Yep.
by listening to how other people do business. So if you really
Yep.
want to get out of the rut and stop listening to just car sales guy, like I'll start a little, closed Facebook training group that we're going to launch really soon.
Yep.
And that's all fine and great. And I want everybody to do that. But I also, if you see value in that, you should be able to see value that people that are in other aspects of their life accomplishing great things to
Yep.
be able to pay them for their knowledge too. Nothing. If you don't pay for things, you're never really going to respect them. So
That's right.
I stopped asking for discounts on things a long time ago.
Yeah.
Somebody tells me what they want for the product or their service, and I think there's value there, and I can get value out of it. I just pay them. I don't say, hey, I did this for you back in the day, or hey, could you hook me up with a free this or a free
Right.
that? I feel obligated that I'll pay for it. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter.
I've been there too. I've been there too, where you ask for the discounts, and here's what happens. And Grant Cardone talks about this. I've heard him
You
say
get
it.
to the mindset that it's okay to ask for a discount. So you get to the mindset that everybody else is asking you for all these discounts, and you
That's
should be
it.
giving them more and more and more and more.
Yep.
And I never want anybody to pay me over market value, but at the same point, enough's enough, right? You
Right.
got to be able to stand on, this is my product, this is what the value of it is. If you'd like to pay for it, it's yours, and that's
Yep.
that's if they see the value in it, they'll buy it from you at that number. If
That's
not,
it.
they're gonna keep asking for more of a discount and not buy it from you, right? So if you didn't show the value, that's why you're not getting the money for your product.
Amen, dude. Amen. And I'm gonna tell you, man, the ones, and you already know this. I don't even need to say it, but I'm going to. The people that want everything for like the biggest discounts for free, or
Right.
those end up sometimes, most of the time, those end up being the biggest pains in the rear end.
Yeah.
When it comes
It's okay.
to,
I can deal with pains in the rear
I
end too.
know, I get that. I know.
It's fine. But
Yeah, yeah,
I'm just saying, if you actually want to start asking people for more money for your product,
yeah.
stop asking other people for discounts on theirs,
Amen.
and that'll change your mindset on
Amen.
how to buy things, which will change your mindset on how to sell things and how to sell yourself, and not diminish the value in yourself and your product.
Yeah, dude, I totally agree, man. Totally agree. And like I said, I'm in groups now that I don't even want to be in the free groups that much anymore because
No, because you're not getting. So people are like, "Oh, I can get that information on YouTube." Well, you know what? You really can't. So it's not categorized. It's all over the place.
right,
So do you put things on YouTube? Yeah, but you only get a snippet
right,
of it. You don't get what it should be, and
Right.
you're not going to learn it in the right way. So if you had to learn algebra, right, and there was one part of the expression over here on YouTube, and then you had to scroll through 40 other videos to find the other,
Right.
algebraic expression and how you get to the end of that, and then how to solve it, and then somewhere else there was somebody to tell you how to show your work, and this guy tells you, how to do it this way, and this guy how to do it that way. It's not the way you're going to learn. You need it concise. Here's a forum. And that's one of the other things now. Everybody's an expert, right?
Yep.
Everybody's an expert. You can
Yep.
declare yourself the expert in freaking anything.
Yep.
Be careful what information that you look to, and the people that you look to, and the trainers that you're looking to, and the information you're getting. Just because it looks like it's high end produced, and it's been through the mill, and they got comments and likes, just because they're selling to the masses doesn't always mean that their information's correct. Just means they're good talkers, and they can read a script, or they can tell you. It doesn't always mean it's the right way to do it. And this is like the biggest age of everybody can be an expert at anything. To me, I need you to prove that you actually did this. I want to see the proof in the pudding. I want the background. I want to know you're there. I know you can still do it. Not that you did it 20 years ago. I want to know you can still do it now. That's why I respect trainers that are actually in-house. They're doing it. They're showing you, you know. So I start training. I can actually walk into a dealership, take a deal from before A even starts, all the way through A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way through every single step we have to get to Z, you know, because I am actually doing it right now every single day, you know, doing it the right way. So just be careful of the information that you're looking at and the information that you're getting, because not everything is the real McCoy.
Amen, man. Any other just unbelievable nuggets you want to drop on?
Joe Healy, I would like to read a book from Frank and Ali. So that's funny. I have a book coming out, How to Sell 101 Cars.
Oh my God. Dude, Ali, I wonder if Ali's still on here. There's Diane Uzlak. How you doing, Diane? Dude, that's like, so funny.
It's like The Price is Right, you know, $1,001.
Oh my God. Dude, that is so funny. Holy shit, that's funny. Yeah. Wow. So, dude, look, man, we're almost at we're at an hour and 45 minutes we've been on here, bro. That's insane. What's up, James Johnson? How you doing, bro? Oh, dude, that was funny. Ali's going to send you a message on that.
I think that should be the name of our book, Ken. Ken's going to help. Ken's wife, actually, Jill, who's the brain. His whole operation is going to help me. She's helping me write my book right now. So I really think that should be the name of it.
Yeah.
And then he could do he could say how I sell 202 cars,
right.
Frank.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Ali said, "Ha ha ha! I'll buy the one from you." That's so funny. Oh my God. So, you're just like, oh my God. I got back from Miami after hanging out with you for a couple of days, and my face hurt. My face hurt from laughing.
Yeah, we were laughing a lot, man. We had some good laughs.
Hey, Melissa Burrow, we're working on her book too, man. She's
Melissa's awesome, man.
Oh my God.
You know what's funny? So I say be careful about some people, real McCoy, all that stuff and everything. So everybody that I met, I've never met so many people that I just knew on Facebook than I did this week. Like I legitimately probably 200 plus people that I've never known besides just Facebook, but in the car community and outside the car community. But it was amazing to me that the persona that they have on Facebook was, for the most part, exactly who they were in person too, which was great. Like, you know, Melissa, Natalie, Lisa. I mean, I got to sit and, talking with, with Lisa. We were out afterwards, having something to eat and cocktails. And there was 7 or 8 car guys over here and, 8 or 9, 10 car girls over here. And I walked over. I'm like, I feel like this is like the 8th grade dance. I said, I'm tired of arm wrestling. I'm just going to sit down and have some different perspectives of the women's views over the side here. So I'm done with those guys over there. But everybody was so real and so great and so humble and gracious, and it was crazy, But it was just really cool to see, these people that you don't know from anywhere else besides social media, and they're actually the real people that they personify, on social media. So it worked out phenomenal. So,
dude, I'm blown away that you've been in the car business selling for 19 years.
No, I've been in the people business for 19 years.
Yeah, okay, but you're not selling freaking pizzas, so let's.
I'm selling myself. You're selling yourself every day, man.
But so you've never been to, until 10X.
I never had time. Never had time. I never had time. Like they would always have sales trainers come to our our management company or something like that. I think I went to one time. I sat through I forget who it was, but I sat through one. I just doodled most of the time. It was all like, just go through your workbook and do this and do that, and it just never resonated with me. But
wow.
I believe not not saying that there wasn't good sales trainers and I probably couldn't have learned anything from them, but because I didn't know what they were saying the levels were,
Right.
I never put that scope over top of me. I never said, okay, 30 cars, man, you're killing it, man. No,
Wow.
you're not. You're not. You're doing yourself and your family an injustice if you're working 80 hours to sell 30 cars. You should figure out a way to take the fluff out of the process, which I can show you how to take all the fluff out of the process, the stuff you don't need. There's a lot of stuff in there that you do need.
Yeah.
Scale it back and increase productivity. So, with time doesn't always increase productivity. If I worked more hours, I wouldn't necessarily sell more cars. I would just burn myself out more.
I want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity also to. I'm gonna type this in here real quick. I want to make sure that everybody on here has the opportunity to download your business card, man.
Mm-hmm.
So
3, 5, 4, 5. Who's next?
It's
no
just,
spacing.
Here, I'm gonna type it and put it on the screen. Who's next to 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5? Everybody send a text message. Who's next to 345 345? You'll download Frank's business card. It has his cell phone number on there. It has everything, like everything. Melissa Burrow just shared the video again. I think she shared it several times. Thank you to everybody who shared this out, man. Frank has a public page because he is very particular about who he accepts a friend request from.
Just follow me. Just follow me on Facebook, and then
follow, and then go.
Once we get my viewers over 17 on my business Facebook,
dude, there's 58 now.
Ken made me set up.
I didn't make you.
No, you actually did.
I set it up. That's right.
You set it up. You told me what the password was, and you actually had full control over it. Some guy I met on the internet, flew and hung out with in Miami, somehow convinced me that he could control and work frankcrinite.com, basically. Well, actually, I don't have that right now. We'll talk about that later. But Frank Crinite's fan page.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we got to get that. But anyway, so you've got Mitch Brewer. I put it up on screen. It's just all you do is send the phone number you're going to type in is 345 345, and then type in who's next. Do not put the apostrophe in there. It's what's showing on the screen right now. Who's next to 345 345, and you can download Frank's. Whoa. Sorry, I just hit a button. Hang on. Screwed up. You can download Frank's business card.
So, an hour and 45 minutes. They're rookie numbers, man.
I know. Dude.
I could do this all day. I could talk about my favorite subject all day.
Yeah. So, hey, man, Frank Lopes goes live for like 3 hours. Ollie Rita says, thanks for sharing, fellas. Fun and informative. Dude, I love that guy. He's such a classy guy. And he said earlier, and this is something else.
It's such an easier name to me. People are like Frank Crinite, Crinite. Like, yeah, my wife called me Crinite for the first 3 years. Like, I need to change my name to something cool. I need an Ali Rita type name. I need a cool name. I'm going to go to a name change.
Ali's awesome. And he said earlier that he always learns from you. And you know what? He means that. Like, he really means that.
And I mean it from him. That's what I mean. Different perspectives. You got to take those blinders off, right? Those things that the horses have, they're called peaky blinders, right?
Yeah.
You take those things off because those things that you're doing a great job, you're doing great, that mindset is what will hold you back from greatness. You telling yourself that you're doing a great job and attaboy and I'm the best at my dealership. Great. You sold 18 cars. Is that really where you want to be? The best at your dealership? Like, is that all you want to be? And if it is, that's totally fine. Not everybody has that mindset that they can open up and to be a lion, to be a champion, right? So that's why not everybody's a champion. But if you really want to be a champion, you stop patting yourself on your back and stop worrying about all the people that are around you, where they're at. And, I talked to one dealer guy and he's like, yeah, well, we're, tops in our dealer group. And, out in, I think he was in Kentucky or Ohio or something like that. And I'm like, well, how many cars is that? He's like, well, we did 132 new and used. And I said, is that like really what
The whole
Jules,
dealership?
yeah, well, that's what he was saying. He goes, "There's months you sell more cars than our whole dealership." He goes, "But in our area, for the cars that they sell, I forget what it was. I mean, the cars that he sells, but they sell 132 cars last month, and because well, that was second from the top out of 25 stores that's in our zone." And I'm like, well, stop looking at that. Stop worrying about that, because all that's doing is putting limitations on where your business could actually be. Find out what other businesses in your area are doing to grow. I said if that was my report, I would take it and burn it. I'd put it through the shredder. I wouldn't even worried about that, right?
Right.
And I forget what type. It wasn't a high volume car, but it doesn't make a difference. Like you got my boy Glenn Lundy and Sean Hayes. Glenn's not there anymore, but they're in the middle of Paris, Kentucky, right, which is nowhere anywhere. Do you really think that they cared about what everybody else around them was doing to grow that dealership from 150 cars or whatever it was to when Glenn left 1,000 cars to now Sean's there? I know they did between the two dealerships over 1,000 cars last month. No, you don't worry about what everybody else around you is doing. That to me is you taking your own pat on your back because you're scared to look yourself in the mirror and figure out a way to improve and say, listen, it's not good enough just because you're at the top of some, you're the tallest midget in the group. I never want to be a tall midget. Not that I'm tall, and not that I'm a midget, but I never want to be a tall midget. I want to be a shining star, not a shooting star.
Are you allowed to say midget? Is that like?
All right, if a midget, I guess I'm a small person. I'm sorry. You're right.
I don't know.
I just violated my own law. I'm sorry. Small people. I'm sorry.
He said small.
I'll sell them a car too. It's totally fine.
Oh my God.
It's totally fine.
That is so funny.
It's just the same. It's just the same.
Oh
I'm gonna
God.
have small people's organization boycott me now.
Oh my God, you're gonna get emails. So look.
I don't read my emails anyway, so I don't care.
That's funny. Oh my God. So dude,
the dog said that. That wasn't me. That was the dog.
He's like, I got my dog face here. I can hide. So that is funny. I am literally in tears. Holy crap. So look, man, I'm kidding. I think you're allowed to say that, right? I think.
All right, let's just move on. I don't want to trouble.
So anyway, all right. So look, anything else, dude? We got to stay on like 3.5 more minutes to hit the 2-hour mark.
Oh, is that a big mark for you?
I don't know. Has Lopes ever done a 2-hour like?
He can do a 2-hour presentation on the moose that he uses. Guy's got some good moose. He's not using that Tresemme stuff. He's using
God, dude, I know.
He's using that salon stuff. His hair in person is so much better than it is online. Like some people you see, it's like, nah, it can't be that good. And you're like, yep, it's definitely not that good. It's the lighting, it's the cameras. That man has a beautiful mane. I can't believe I just said that, but he does. He does, man. I am jealous.
He said, please. He's still on here. I know, man. He's like, dude, he's got the hair going. He said, in his pomade.
He must have a freaking hairstylist like live in his mansion there.
Oh my God, that is so funny. Holy crap. I think he's done a 4-hour live before though. I don't know. He's gone on some long runs. But anyway, dude, look.
So here's the thing, all right? So this guy Chuck says, my fiance works for the group Frank works in. We talk more about his numbers than mine, and that's great, right? But at the same point, you guys, you need to figure out what's getting me to these levels, right? Not just talk about it. And that was a sentiment I heard. Like, man, I must have talked to 10, 15 owners, GMs, dealer principals when I was there, and they're like, man, you're the focus of our meeting every Saturday morning, right?
Wow.
And if this guy can do it, why can't I? And I get that, right? That's the mindset you need, and you need that mindset. But then what action are you actually taking to get your employees to that level? What action are your employees taking to get to that level? Where's the accountability of it? Not just rah, there's this guy, Frank doing this, there's this guy Ali doing that, because all that'll do is maybe beat you down that you can't get to these levels and can't get to these numbers, So you got to be able to have the mindset that it's achievable, but you also have to have the plan and the action to actually get there, or it's never going to happen.
Yeah, I totally agree. Frank says I'm the Springsteen of live streams. He did, I forget how, 24 or 28 interviews in out at NADA live,
Yeah.
like back to back to back to back to back.
We got burnt out, I guess, and then he went away. He invited me on his show one time for like 4 minutes. I got 4 minutes with Lopes. I was like, man, this is great. Like 4 minutes with Lopes, man. I was on the Lope show. Good.
See, Frank, Frank needs to have you on. Like, you guys need to do a show. Do you have a cell phone, man? I'll send it to you. I got his number, man. I'll get.
484-368-9000. You can reach me at 484-368-9000. Like, give your cell phone number out. My cell phone number's everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's on every picture I take.
I know.
It's everything. There's people that don't even give their cell phone number out. Like, you get 24/7 concierge service. You need me, you call me, you text me, you instant message me. I'm going to get back to you. I'm going to find a way to get back to you. So,
dude, that's what separates you, man. That's what separates you right there. That's it. And Frank just said, I think it was 6 minutes.
It might have been. Seemed like 4. It was quick.
Anyway, you guys need to do a show together because
I could do one with him right now. I can go on.
Let's see if he does it. Frank Lopes. He just called you out, dude. He just called you out.
I could be the the reinvention of his show. It could be the Frank and Frank show, the Frank Squared.
Oh, the Frank Squared. Holy crap.
You know?
That's good.
2 Franks are better than 1. Frankly speaking.
Yeah. That's good.
How in the Frank did he do that?
How in the Frank? Let's see. What does Diane say? If a sales trainer only sold cars for a year or two, they have zero credibility. Now Frank Crinite and Ali Rita, they have credibility.
I agree with that. There are some people that are good coaches. Yeah. So it doesn't always have to be. You don't always have to play the game to be able to coach it. But to me, there's a lot more value in somebody that's doing it now, and is actually relevant than somebody that read a bunch of books and learned how to talk and is very eloquent in the way they can speak and are closers themselves, but they need to actually prove that they can do it now, not that they just did it. Not saying that people that haven't been doing it for a long time don't have value, but I want to see them out on the floor and do it now. Prove to me that your systems work. Prove to me that what you're doing and what you're saying is actual, not BS. Not somebody else's regurgitated stuff. Because that's all I ever got whenever I was looking at anything. It was always, this guy's regurgitated lines, or this line tweaked with this, or here's my close for that. And I don't need a bunch of lines. I don't need a bunch of stuff that word tracks. I mean, there's certain word tracks that'll help you. There's certain things you can ask to pull information out of people that they're not thinking about, that it's pertinent to a deal or pertinent information to get. But word tracks to close everything, I don't know. It seems robotic to me. If we could just program a bunch of word tracks, why do I need a salesperson? Exactly. I could just program that in, and we could just sit in front of the robot and answer questions, right? You do it on the computer and have the car shipped to them. The whole world will turn into Carvana, and that's not the way that I want my business to go.
Yep, totally agree with you, man. Alan Dickey is on here.
Oh, Alan's my man. So Alan took me under his wing. Alan and Velko, and then Jonathan all took me under their wing. This is something that blew my mind, and these people are so genuine. So after the conference, the first day, we were standing outside. I'm waiting for an Uber. After I got done talking to everybody, I was going to Uber by myself. I seen Alan standing there. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just going to get an Uber and go back to the Hustle House, hang out with everybody." He goes, "Dude, it'll take an hour and 45 minutes to get an Uber from here, 20 minutes now with traffic." He's like, "Why don't you just come hang out with me? We'll go get a beer or something. They're going to meet a couple people." I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, come on out." Man, he gave me so much knowledge, tips, motivation, some inside stuff that people pay big money for to this guy. And he just took me, only knows me from Facebook, couple comments back and forth. The Ace Man is the real deal. That guy knows his stuff inside and out. He's a good talker. He's a great salesperson. But he knows his stuff. He believes in what he sells, and that guy did it. He sold cars. He actually did it, and then he wrote a book about it, and he's doing sales training the right way. So I much respect to him. Respect.
That's awesome. He just put up #FrankFan, so he's a fan.
Yeah, I'm an Ace Man fan.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Bro, this has been a lot of fun, man. And it was very, like, we just decided to do it, man. So I'm,
You've been harassing me for weeks to come back on with you. Let's tell the truth here. Stop. I don't sugarcoat anything.
dude, you're
You're like, please tell everybody about thewowformula.com, thewowformula.com. It's only $20, thewowformula.com.
25. It's 25. 25,
like,
25 a month.
That's
So,
fine. Did I ask you for a discount? We were friends. Did I say put me in it and I'll help you out? Did I say any of that? I said, dude, here's my credit card. Sign me up. I see the value. I want it. I want to learn. I want to hear your voice. I want to see what you're doing. I want to see what makes Ken such a great connector of people. I want to see Ken, what makes him an internet guru. What makes the world's best website designer. That I'm still waiting for my website to come out .com, but that's probably because I'm not giving you anything you're asking me for.
It's on the way. It's on the way.
I think I've given you one tidbit of information that you've asked me for out of the 100,000 things. I'm like, yeah, I'll get it to you.
Yeah.
It's all
Well,
good.
hey, dude, you're busy. You already told me that.
Yeah, not at all. I'm not. I can sit on here for 2 hours and do this.
I know.
I'm not that busy. Again, if I was watching, here you go, people. If I was watching 6 hours of Netflix every night, I wouldn't be able to get through what I get through. I wouldn't be able to sell the amount of cars I do. I wouldn't be able to do the amount of stuff I do in real estate. I wouldn't be able to have the relationships that I have with my family, my friends. I wouldn't be able to help out a charity. I wouldn't be able to go to these sporting events, right? So prioritize your time, not just in the dealership, but in your life. It'll change your life.
Yep.
You take out all the fluff out of anything in life that you don't need, you won't even miss it. You'll be like, man, that was an incredible waste of time. That's what I mean about removing the fluff from stuff. Not just the sales process from your life. You'll be able to accomplish a lot more. Just in the last couple months, man, I've grown so much as a person, personally, and financially and business wise and everything, just by changing just a couple little things in my life that I didn't even realize I was getting into a rut. So get out of the ruts, look at yourself and be able to look yourself in the mirror and not just high five it, but to be able to own, everything you're doing right, but also the stuff you're doing wrong. So that's been the biggest eye opener to me.
Dude, that's awesome. And aren't you glad that you met some weird guy on the internet that called you out on not going to the conference?
I'm so glad he wasn't weird. I'm so glad it wasn't something other than what I thought it was going to be. She's
Right.
like, you're just going to go meet some guy? Don't you think that's weird? I'm like,
Yeah, that's so funny. Bill Have is on here, dude.
Bill Howe's my boy, man. He crushed it, man. I was so proud of him. I'm very proud of that guy, man.
Bill's the man.
Listen, I've sent Bill customers, man. I hooked Bill up. My boy reached out to me. He's like, should I send this guy customer? I'm like, yeah, absolutely, 100%, man. Let him be your guy for that car brand, whatever you need. I respect him. And, the guy's putting himself out there every day. He's putting enough effort in to get it. He actually sat down and broke it down. I don't do that stuff. I don't say this many hours in a day, this many minutes, how many cars I got to sell. It's a great way to do things, to micro analyze it like that and figure it out. And he did it. He did it, and he hit his goal. He blew his goal out of the water, man. So, much respect. I'm proud. Bill Have could be the next Frank Crinite, man. He could be the next guy that's, that comes over, one of these young, guys and girls, and, that's going to be able to utilize their social media platform and utilize their community. They'll blow past my numbers. They'll blow past Ali's numbers. It's coming. It's definitely coming. So, you watch. There's going to be one of the greats are going to come up real quick, real fast.
I gotta give Bill Have some props because he ran that thing where he gave away what was it? An Escalade? He
gave away a car, bro.
I know, man.
He gave away a car every year, man.
Was it an Escalade or was it a Yukon?
I'm going to try to partner up with something with this year. We were talking a little bit, so
yeah.
we got some great things coming, man. It's going to be pretty cool.
Dude, Bill Have is the man. He's yeah. I love that dude. I got to play a small part in that. So, I love that dude. So, man, look, I'm not in the car business. People keep saying, Ken, you've been adopted. But, hey, I'm grateful for our friendship. And man, I really appreciate you coming on. This was fun tonight.
Yeah, bud.
Yeah.
It's actually morning now, isn't it? Oh, no, it's not.
No, it's only 11:16.
Okay.
So look.
Do I have any viewers?
Hey, thank you to everybody who shared this out. Frank, thanks, dude. I think you laid down some serious freaking nuggets.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it was good. I appreciate it. Hopefully somebody gets something out of something I said. It'll be great. Something out of something.
I think
Could
I
be
think
something big.
I think they did for sure, definitely. So
Down my business card because as soon as I start coming out with a couple things, I'll have all your information. I'll be able to send it right out to you, so you won't miss anything.
that's right. Get
Yeah.
it. Go to here. I'm gonna throw it back up on the screen. I took it down. Sorry. Who's next to 345? Lisa Davidson says, Ken Walls, you're in the people business. That is true. And listen, let me say this. I'm
Oh,
gonna
I
just
got
say this.
Diane too. Diane's on here. She is awesome.
I love
How
Diane.
great is Diane. I just love hearing things from different perspectives of people in the car business, and she was so nice and so friendly, and
I
you know,
love Diane.
talk to me about anything, about insurance, like the
Yeah.
stuff she does for the dealerships, and protecting the dealerships and stuff. And then she listened to stuff that I had to say too. It was great. It was awesome. She was
Dude,
an unbelievable person.
I got a funny story about her. So one day, I got 5,000 friends on Facebook, and I don't know how, but somehow I noticed I was no longer friends with Diane. I'm like, so I hit her up. I'm like, what the hell? Why'd you unfriend me? And she's like, I did.
There's
And I go, you
many
unfriended me.
friends.
What did I do? Did I piss you off? Like what? She's like, no, I don't know what happened. And she immediately sends me. She's awesome, dude. I love
Yeah.
that woman.
And then my buddy Joe Healy, I finally met. He's from this area. He doesn't live here anymore. I met him at the down at the conference, but he's like, man, I love what you're doing for Delco. He walked up to me. He's like, can I buy some of those tickets from you? I'm like, yeah. So I got to send him his tickets, but and I actually missed him. He reached back out to me. He's like, listen, I meant it. He Venmoed me $100. I got to send him 10 tickets for our Delco group. I'm like, man, it's like I really appreciate doing all these lives and stuff like that. So I want to help out, and I want to help out the Delco community. So anybody who wants to help out, we're selling some tickets for a trip to the Miami Eagles game. $10 a chance. If you can't go to the Miami Eagles game, you can go to Mexico. You can pick the date and time with our travel agent. 4 days, 4 nights. But for $10, you can donate to my charity. Just let me know. I'll give you the Venmo. We can put it up in the post here. And if you liked anything you got here and you got some value out of it and you want to give back to my charity, it's going to do some great things for the local community. That would be one way you can actually repay for all these free nuggets of knowledge that we're dropping here for you.
Love it. I love it, dude. Diane said I unfriended her. That is not a true statement. I'm just kidding. I don't remember what happened. It's been a year and a half or so ago. But anyway, so look, man, and we need to add that the Delco charity thing to your digital business card, man, so people can just click on it from there.
Yeah, do you know a guy?
I do. Yeah.
Okay, good.
But it just remind me, dude, so I can add that. But
I'll
anyway,
call Jill. She'll handle it. It's all good.
yeah. All right, hey, dude, thank you. I appreciate you being on. Thank you to everybody. Man, we have had some people on here the entire time we've been live. Like we've had some people have been on here for 2 hours and 12 minutes with us, bro. It's amazing.
If they all probably fell asleep, actually, that's why they're still on here.
No, they're making comments and stuff, man. It's freaking awesome. It's freaking awesome. Diane's crying. She's crying now. All right, so look, how did I just put that thing up on the screen and there? Jeez, it got humongous on the screen. So look, the information is up there. We'll add that to your digital business card too. So, all right. Listen, Tammy Woodard's still on here too. Good Lord, man, crazy night, man, dude. Thank you. I appreciate you. Appreciate you being on. You guys have an awesome night. Thanks for being on here. The Frank and Ken Show.
We need something called instead of 60 minutes, it could be 120 minutes.
Yeah. Plus. Right.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening. Hopefully I helped you out tonight or just entertained you. I just like getting on here and making fun of Ken. It makes me feel better. I don't know why. This guy's a good guy. I appreciate it. He's the only one who puts up with me.
Listen, I got to say this real quick before we go. The reason that the WOW formula, which I'm going to throw that logo up on here, the reason it exists. Whoa, hold on. Let me move this over. The reason the WOW formula exists is Frank Crinite told me, dude, you need to create a group and you need to da 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 da. And I'm like, why didn't I ever think of that? He's like, I'm telling you, man, you're like he kept calling me the plug. And I'm like, dude, why you keep calling me the plug? He's like, dude, you keep introducing me to all these people, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, so that's why?
I'm the poor man's Tony Robbins.
That's why. Wow.
That's what we should call this.
Yeah, right. There you go. But that is why the WOW formula exists. That's why the WOW formula logo has a plug in it. Just so you guys know, it's because of Frank Crinite.
Cool.
So yeah. Anyway, hey guys, have a great night. Thank you all for being here and sharing and everything else. Talk to you later. Frank, don't hang up.